Check 1, 2. Axel's in the building. Oval's in the building. Welcome in, y'all. Antoine, welcome in. Samo's in the building. What's up, Samo? Thank you so much for the rose. I appreciate that a lot. Yo, welcome into the stream. VDEX in the building. Thank you so much for tapping in, y'all. This is me. Thank you so much for tapping in. P.S. I appreciate you being here. Y'all, welcome into the stream. I appreciate y'all hopping in today. If you're coming in for the first time, let me know where you're joining from. 88, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Let me know where you're joining from. If you make music, let me know what kind of music you make. I would love to hear from you. Eric, appreciate you tapping in. Jonah's in the building. 88 is from the UK. Welcome in. Jonah, appreciate you being here. Is it Hanson? Am I saying that correctly? Thank you so much for tapping into the stream. Y'all tap the screen, share it the live with a few people. Sam, I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you for all of those shares and the likes, man. I appreciate that a lot. Tap the screen, share it the live with a few people. We'll get rolling with some music just in a couple minutes, y'all. We'll get things flowing here. We'll get the live stream moving here in just a little bit. Alicia's in the building from Mississippi, and thank you so much for the follow, Alicia. I appreciate you tapping in. Do you know Don't Walk Away? Who's it by? I might. Not like off the top of my head. I could figure it out pretty quickly, but I apologize as always, y'all, for the ridiculous allergies. They have not let me go. By ELO. No, I don't believe so. Nero, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Thank you for the follow as well. Yeah, we're going to get into listening to y'all's music, into some consultations here in just a couple minutes, y'all. We're going to hang out for just a little bit, get the live stream rolling, get the algorithm working, and then we'll dive into some stuff in just a little bit. If y'all need any information, you can go to my profile and click on the link. All the information for the live stream is there, but I will explain it in detail, in depth here in just a couple minutes, just before we get flowing here. But I appreciate you tapping in. 88, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Hannah's in the building. Welcome in, Hannah. Thank you so much for tapping in. What are y'all up to today? Once again, if you do make some music, let me know if you make music, what kind of music you make. Would love to chat about that for a little bit. Narfin's in the building. Thank you so much for tapping in. Yeah, we'll get into some music here in just a little bit. Samo, thank you for the rose, man. I appreciate you a lot. I appreciate that. Derek Bennett's in the building. Narfin, thank you for the rose. Hannah's in the building. Hannah makes music. Oh, you can't hear me on YouTube. Really? I see the audio in. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me update real quick. Derek and Narfin, thank you so much for the heart me. I appreciate that a lot. The audio's there. Hold on. Hold up. Y'all can hear me on TikTok, right? Oh, I didn't do anything, so it must have just been something on your end. Can you hear me now? Good. Gumbo's in the building. What's up, Gumbo? Good to see you, man. What's up, Life Explosion? Good to see you. Dylan's in the building. It's good now. Yeah, I didn't touch anything. So hopefully it's doing what it's supposed to do. Joel's in the building. What's up, brother? Y'all, some of y'all will appreciate this. I just picked this up the other day. For those of you who care, this is an old Samick from like the late 80s. I just traded a guy for one of my other instruments the other day. I don't know if it'll even come through on look at the wood, man. Look at the grain. Come on, somebody. She's gorgeous in like pristine condition. From I think like 1988, maybe like early 90s. And it actually has the original. So the guy that I got it from, he replaced it from the factory with the black hardware. But he has the original gold hardware. It's just not in like the best condition. So I need to, hold on. I don't know what's going on here. I got all kinds of notifications popping up for some reason. I want to replace it because I'd rather the gold hardware, because a lot of my other, like some of my other guitars like this Gretsch Streamline that I have here, which is a center block semi-hollow body guitar here, has all gold original hardware as well. And I prefer the gold hardware any day. And so I want to spend some time opening it back up, get the Samick kind of back to its original 80s glory, and get the gold hardware on there. It'd be beautiful. That's my next little half-day project. I'll restring it and get some new hardware on it. That'd be fun. Yeah, it's a 4-string. Yeah, and then I just got Gumbo. Gumbo, do you play bass? I know Gumbo's a beast of a musician. Phenomenal. Anybody in here, go follow Gumbo. He's the man. Go follow Gumbo. Gumbo, Jesus. Gumbo, phenomenal musician, great producer. So you'll appreciate, I don't know if you play bass. And I would never consider myself a bassist. I play guitar decently. So by default, when I'm tracking, I track a lot of bass, but I wouldn't consider myself like a bassist. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like that's a loose term and thank you for the heart me. I appreciate that a lot. Rick's in the building. What's up, Rick's? But I got this one as well. This was a part of another trade. I had a couple basses that I've had for a long time, an old SG bass, an old late 80s or early 90s Vester solid wood bass, and I traded them for stuff that I would use a lot more. This is a Hofner B bass based off the early 60s original German Hofner B basses, which were like what the Beatles would use and stuff like that. Like you'll see some original Hofners and the Beatles. Those are like $4,000. Those are crazy. These are much, much cheaper, but based off the same one with a lot of similar circuitry. It's a cool bass. Anyways, it's a vibe. It's a vibe. But yeah, they do call it a violin bass. It is a cool space. Okay, y'all. I want to get into some music here. I'm not going to be on for like a crazy amount of time. We got Derek Bennett. Derek, let me get you up on the board. Give me 2 seconds, y'all. I need to clear some things over here. So if you're here over on TikTok, tap the screen like crazy, share out the live with a few people. We'll get rolling with some music in just like 5 minutes. I'll explain everything that we do, why we do it, how we do it that way. I'll get into that in just 2 minutes. Let me just clear some things here on the list here and get them on my other list. Simsa, thank you so much for tapping in. Narfin, yeah, I'll explain everything here in just a second. And then Derek, of course, actually, let me get Derek up on the board right now. And let me, what am I doing? Here? I can't type. And I apologize, y'all, that my allergies for the last couple months, this is just what it's like in the winter for me here in Texas. So if I'm sniffing and whatever the whole time, I'm so sorry. Just turn down your phone for the ASMR. It's not fun. So I'm going through it right now. So if it's too much, then I apologize in advance. We'll get into some stuff in a second. Give me just 2 minutes here. I'm going to clear a couple names off this list here and save them to my other list. Ricks, it's brutal. It's brutal. I might as well be. This is what I'm like for 3 months out of the year. Greg the drummer, welcome in. No matter what I do, and I'm doing all the stuff. Trust me. 100%, Hannah, 100%. Benson, thank you so much for tapping in as well. Yeah, it's brutal, Derek. It starts in like November for me, and it doesn't let up until, probably later this month or something. Okay, give me a second. I gotta save a couple names here. So let's see. Hannah, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Let's go, Ricks. Let's go. Okay, let me clear a couple things here. Give me just one moment. Da-da-da. All right, let's see. Clear that. Let's get 24 leak saved. Let's get Monty saved. Let's get Kev saved. Let's get Mikhail saved. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, productions, instrumental, released, unreleased, doesn't matter to me. I want to offer as much value as possible, and I'll explain that here in just a couple minutes. And how I plan on doing that. Yeah, absolutely anything. I would say most people send unreleased. It's, there's not a necessity, but I would say most people send unreleased just because of the format of the live stream. Okay, give me 1 more second. I'm getting a couple of these names off the list here, so that I have space. I'm getting them saved. So let's go. Boom, 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 boom. All right, that should work. Okay, let's go. Put it at like 6 to 8 today. Nice handful. And then I'll explain everything here in a second. I'll go through my spiel. I go through my my spiel. Narfin, thank you for the rose. Sorry, I'm just seeing the gifts right now. I'm sorry for the delay. Thank you for the roses, and thank you for the wink wink. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you for your generosity. Okay, let's see. Last 8. And let me get minimums for there for now. Let me get this done. All right, line is up on the red and purple apps. I can talk about that here in just a second, but if you want to see the line, you can bring it over there. Okay, it's time for some music, y'all. It is time. Let me get this email over here set up really quick. And then let me know who sent in. Let me know who sent in over through the website, just so I can get everything locked in. Let's go. Derek, I love to hear it. I love to hear it. Danny's in the building. What's up, Danny? Thank you so much for tapping in. Okay, really quick, for those of you who are coming in for the first time, again, like my allergies are beating me up, so if I'm mumbling through stuff and sniffing, I'm so sorry. I apologize in advance. But if you've never been here before, welcome to the family. Welcome to Track Talk. This is an amazing, amazing community of people that love music and love people that love music. So if that's your vibe, you'll be right at home right here. But if you have never been here before, let's get into some of the details of the live stream. This is Track Talk. These are 20 to 30 minute long, usually 30 or longer, 30-minute long consultations for artists, producers, musicians, session musicians, songwriters, vocalists, whatever it may be, engineers. If you're looking for tools, you're looking for tips, that's what we do here. They're about 30 minutes a piece. These are not short reviews. This is not a trash or pass. There are no ratings. There are no polls. This is a long-form, detailed analysis and consultation on the structure of your music. We're going to get into the mix and master, production elements, sound design, lyric and song structure, whatever would best serve you and offer you the most value. That is my goal. That's what I want to dig into. Like I said before, there's no trash or pass ratings, no polls. This is not a quick review. My goal here is not to hype you up. My goal here is not to give you a bunch of exposure. If that happens because of the algorithm or whatever, awesome. I don't really care about that. It's just not my priority. If it happens, fabulous. I love it. I'm also not here to tear you down. I'm not here to trash you. I'm not here to roast you. I don't care about that either. I just love the music. I really, really want to get into the details and the nuances of your music. If that's interesting to you, go to my profile, click on the link, and just read through and follow all the steps, and we will get you moving in the right direction. We already have a good chunk of people already in the line ready to go. I'm getting a couple more lined up here in a second. But if you want to submit, go to my profile, click on my link, and just read through and follow all the details. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Wubsy, good to see you, baby. I appreciate you hopping in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the heart me as well, Wubsy. And if you want to see the line, the order, the minimums, which is constantly being updated over the course of the live, you could just go to the red or purple app, use your imagination, YT. Absolutely all Yona, or is it Yona? Absolutely all styles of music, all genres, all levels of preparedness. You're going to hear people that are sending in literally like voice memos of progressions they're trying to build out and see if we can help them build a better structure for their song. And you're going to hear Grammy-winning musicians. It's going to be all the way across the board. So you're going to get a very broad variety and a spectrum of quality here of all different genres. It's a very technical space. It's a very analytical space. Like I said, I'm not here to just tell you if I like or don't like your music. There's plenty of spaces. I'm the Grammy musician, just not yet. Facts, Derek. There's plenty of spaces that are there to give you a quick spin, a quick play, and a quick review, tell you to get a better mix and move on. That's just not what we happen to do here. We're going to be here for a while. We're going to be listening for a long time. We'll typically go through your song 2 to 3 different times to really get into the details and the structure of your music. Anyways, if you would like to submit, if you're on TikTok, go to my profile, click on the link, read through all the details there. And then again, you can check the line on the other platforms, the red, YT, or the purple app starting with a T. All of those you can find at my link pretty easily. If you are on the red app and you would like to submit, just go to the description for the live stream. If you are on the purple app starting with a T, then you can type !submit. Exclamation point submit right there in the chat. Okay, and for those of you who don't know, before we get into our first records here, which we're just about to do, for those of you who don't know, my name is Torvik. I am a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That's what I do for a living. I've done that for 14 plus years. I have to say 14 now because I forgot that I'm getting older and I just keep saying the same thing. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. I've been doing that for about 14 plus years. I'm also a classically trained musician, been playing piano since I was 6 years old. So that is kind of the perspective that we hold in this live stream. Like I said, I'm not here to trash you. I'm not here to roast you. I'm not here to hype you up. I really want to get into the details of your music and offer a good second set of ears on the structure of your music. Slim's in the building. Unk status. It's so true. I'm 32 now. I'm 32. That's not old. I still, I still feel young. I still feel young. Wubsy, you know it. You know it. Scotty's in the building. Scotty's in the building. Welcome in. I appreciate you being here. Okay, let's get into some music. Let's get into some music, y'all. Let me just get all of this updated really quick. Who sent the 15 through the website? If you're in the chat, let me know. I'll listen to anything y'all send in. No genre specific, no artist specific. It's just got to be something you're connected to. You know, there's no point in sending like a famous artist or anything like that. If it's music you're connected to, if you manage them, you produce them, you're the artist, you're the vocalist yourself, whatever it may be, you're a musician in a band, whatever it is, feel free to send it in. All right, let me just update a few things here. Ricks, that's you. Okay, got you. That's what I thought. I thought I recognized the name there. I just know the name's different, so I try to make sure that I get it where it's supposed to be. Okay, let me get Rick's up there. Derek, I already got you in the right spot. Ike, welcome for the follow. Welcome for the follow. You're welcome. Thank you for the follow. Jane with the Galaxy. Jane with the Galaxy. Dude, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jane. I appreciate that a lot. I appreciate your generosity. Yeah. Is it Lilix? Yeah. Go to my profile, click on the link, and all the details are right there. Okay, let me just double check a few things. I gotta get some shit in order here. Let's see. Derek, you're good. Ricks, you're good. Blue, you're good. Whispering's good. Mikhail's good. MC, Joe Toon, beautiful. Let me see. Thank you so much for that, Jane. I appreciate you a lot. That's incredibly generous of you. Yeah. Okay, 2 seconds. And then, Derek, I think we're going to kick things off with you. Let me just double check the emails that I have in, and then we'll get things flowing. Let's see. Okay, Hannah, I do have your email as well. Mission, thank you so much for tapping in. Thank you, Jane. I love what you're doing as well. I appreciate in fact, anybody who hears and who, Jesus Christ, talk with normal words. ADHD, do your fucking thing. For anybody who happens, I got to talk slower, but my brain doesn't let me. Does anyone else deal with this? I try to talk slow. This fucking brain will not let me. If you happen to be in this chat right now, I would highly encourage you, go follow Jane. She is very knowledgeable, very experienced, very credible in this space, and I would highly recommend you be a part of what she's doing. Drop into her lives, drop into the reviews with her, Joelle. They're just two very, very credible, very talented people that I would highly, there's like literally very, very few people in here that I would tell anybody to go to. There's not a lot of people that actually know anything about music. So there's a couple people that I would recommend checking out, and Jane, Joelle, a couple other people would be a few. There's a select few of people that I would trust with your music out there, unless you just want opinions, unless you just want consumer input. And do you like my song? Do you not like it? Then yeah, float around. Join some lines, float around. If you just want consumer opinion, am I a dope rapper or not? And you want a bunch of people to tell you, yeah, there's no shortage. Henrik, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate that. Then you gradually sped back up like a NASCAR. I know. I tried to start slow for a second, and 3 seconds later, I'm back in fast forward. All right, let's get into some music, y'all. Let's get into some music. I think I got everything organized here, so let's dive in. We got Derek Bennett in the building. We got a track called Desire. Is this with the new vocalist? Or no? Hold on. That's a different name on here. That's a different name on the file. There we go. Deb is in the building. What's up, Deb? Thank you so much for tapping in. Nice automation. Yeah, I'm doing some tempo automation on my vocal samples here. Deb, thank you for the heart me. I appreciate you a lot. New vocal, beautiful. This is called Desire by Derek Bennett. Let's dive into the details. This is unfinished, another track with this vocal. She wrote lyrics and melody. I did all the production and BGV. Beautiful. Once again, y'all, if anybody does want to submit for a consultation, just go to my profile, click on the link, and follow the details there. It's not too crazy. Just keep in mind that these are like 30 to 40 minutes long. I say 20 sometimes. It never is, because my brain doesn't work that way. These breakdowns typically are about 30 to 40 minutes long. We'll listen to your song 2 to 3 different times to get into the details, the nuance of what you're doing creatively and practically. That's interesting to you. If you're just looking for a solid second set of ears on your music for someone who actually does music full time and understands at least a little bit of what they're talking about, then that's kind of what we do here. They are very long form though, so if you're looking for a quick play and to move on, really quickly, then you will be very sorry. D Young, thank you so much for tapping in. Session is open and ready. That's what I like to hear. All right, this is Desire by Derek Bennett, but I haven't heard this track before, right? Fresh vocal. Deb, thank you for the dolphin. I appreciate you a lot. Ponderosa, welcome in as well. All right, let's dive in, y'all. Let's dive in. Session's open and ready. It's time. All right, let's get it. I think you've heard the instrumental a while ago. Okay, cool. It does sound kind of familiar. Although I have heard a lot of cinematic drops early in the songs. That's not what I do here, D-Young, but there are some really cool places that do. I appreciate you being here, though. I genuinely do. Sounds like a trailer. It's to be rap, but we fell on the singing melody. Okay, cool. It's in my design that I cannot die while trying. You can feel me crawling, and I taste your. I like the harmonic minor there. Thank you for the gold. I appreciate you, Deb. Thank you so much. And keep in mind, y'all, this is real quick. I'm going to stop it really quick. Keep in mind, for those of y'all who are coming in, this is an early demo. This is an early demo, just to keep in mind the mix stuff, right? This is going to be sent to an engineer. This is going to be an earlier demo that is going to be reworked in some way. So just keep that in mind as well. Hey, Russell did a skip. I'm not sure if you saw who it came from. It's me. Eytan, welcome in. Let me double check real quick. Let me just double check, make sure I've got that in order. Da, 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 da. Got you. Okay, yeah, perfect. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for tapping in. Okay, let's go get a little bit deeper into it. I just usually try to preface if this is like a finished record and it's on DSPs already, or if it's something that needs, it's something that we all know still needs to be built out and structured a little bit better. Okay, just so people understand. Otherwise, people are like, "Oh man, it needs a better mix. The vocal needs the," and it's like, yeah, we know, we're there. I love that low end percussion. That's nice. If anybody wants to submit, go to my profile, click on the link. I like these lower dynamics. A little more breath, a little bit more air. Even a little vocal fry at kind of the bottom part of the register. These little segments to me have a lot more emotion. True Love, welcome in. Marita, welcome in. Little tension on the second right there as well. But y'all show some love. That is Derek Bennett. The song is called Desire. We're going to run it from the top as we always do. Let's get into some of the details, some of the structural details. And then like we usually do, I'm not necessarily touching mix in this aspect because it just hasn't even gone through that process yet. You're still building structure. So we're going to focus on, vocal production, segmenting, song structure, and of course, sound design as a whole. As you're building this out here, melody structure, stuff like that. So y'all show some love to Derek Bennett. Let's get into it. Let's run it from the top. Quick reminder, if you want to submit, Eytan, I got you up there. If you would like to submit for a full detailed consultation, like we're going to get into now, each of these are about 30 minutes a piece. Go to my profile, click on the link, and then you can dive into the details right there. All right. Yeah, a lot of Derek Bennett stuff is like it's like cross between like alternative pop, cinematic stuff. He has some metal, progressive rock stuff in there as well, every once in a while, depending on the song he sends in. But all very like very placement forward. Like they're very well orchestrated, good cinematic structure and stuff like that. Okay, so let's dive in. Once again, y'all, I feel like I need to continually apologize for my allergies, but just bear with me a little bit. Deb, thank you so much for the gifts. I really appreciate you. I appreciate it a lot. All right, let's run it from the top. It's time. Like something even early right there would be fun. Little choir stab. Z, thanks for stepping in. Dude, I'm on it. I'm doing it all. I'm doing neti pots twice a day. I'm flushing. I got sprays. I'm doing it all. I'm doing it all. It's inescapable in Texas here. Is it Rui? Thank you so much for tapping in. I appreciate you being here. If you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and just read through all of the details are there. So the form the way that you submit is all right there. D Busy's in a building. What's up, dude? I appreciate you appreciate you hopping in. I hope you're doing amazing. Don't worry about me talking today. It's not working. But yeah. If you followed all the steps, I'll get notified. So I don't think you have followed all the steps. So just double check that you did read through everything. If you didn't read through everything, you probably skipped something. I want to make sure you get all the steps so I can get you in line with everybody else in here. I might have your email, but I don't think I have a full submission. So just double check. Double check. Yeah, I don't have a full submission. Okay, let's get it. Good to see you, Busy. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so you're kind of basing most of this off the C minor, right? So let me back it up here just a little bit. And then you have some kind of, this kind of like G harmonic minor, right? So what I want you to be careful of is the moments within your scaling here that you are playing the F and the F sharp in the same run, right? So there's a couple little pockets in here where you kind of move to this harmonic, right? You have this really almost off the G minor, G harmonic minor, but then most of your progression is based on, not to get too in the weeds here, but it's most of your progression is based off of C minor, right? That's where the harmonic minor would be. But then I think you're playing a G harmonic minor over the top. So just watch that with those strings right there. I'll kind of bullet point it for you here in just a second to make sure that it's kind of exactly where you want it to be. There's nothing, again, music is fun and quirky and weird. But in this case, you just got to make sure, like, there's not a lot of rules around it, but there is a lot of tension that's happening between the vocal and the main progression being pretty strictly within one key. And then just like one instrument having an accidental outside of that key that maybe doesn't fit the best. I would, one of a couple things is just make sure that everything follows that same structure, or on the other side, edit that string to just get it back into the C minor scale so that it feels really, really cohesive. Like animals as leader. Yeah, anybody who wants to come in and you're wanting to get a consultation, just like we're doing right here, go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow all the details. Let me back it up here just a little bit. Because all of this, all of that, that's strict C minor, straightforward, right up the C minor. So all of your main like spiccatos in the background right there, and the pizzicatos in the background, those are all pretty strictly on the C minor scale, which means you have the F in there, and then you have one, when you go to the G harmonic, that's where you're getting the tension between the F and the F sharp. So I'll timestamp you here in a second here. Right there. Duh, duh, duh. So you have, and we're at like 20 seconds. And it's going to happen throughout the progression because it's happening within, I think, the main spiccatos in the background and floating with your lead cello. So your lead cello is like in the G harmonic minor, but the rest of your progression is just in C sharp, or I'm sorry, C minor, not C sharp, C minor. We're at like 20 seconds, but I think it's going to happen on a loop throughout the progression. So what's happening is it sounds like your spiccatos. And it's walking, which is beautiful. That's great. There's nothing wrong with that at all. That sounds great. You're just following up to the F right there. But then you have this lead that's kind of, right? It's like kind of following the harmonic there. That's where you're creating a lot of tension. Right there in 21 seconds. It'll probably happen again. right there. So like, and then again at 29 seconds. So every 8 seconds on a loop, if you're like close to 60 BPM ish, every 8 seconds, you know, on a loop right there, you're getting tension between one string hitting the F, one hitting an F, one hitting an F sharp, and then the chord being a C minor, which also has the G as the fifth. So you kind of have like all these notes hitting at the same time. And it's, you know, it's jazzy. It's jazzy, but it's giving you a lot of tension that I don't feel like is like necessary in this portion of the song. Like if you want to create some like nasty dissonant tension later on, you know, run with it, make it kind of nasty and, you know, Flight of the Bumblebee or whatever you want to make it. Like you can make it kind of gross in that way and in a good way. But this early on, kind of where you're at so far, I don't feel like we need to create that much tension having three first, you know, a chromatic walk between the F, you know, in this case, F sharp and G. So at every 8 seconds or so early on, anytime that I think that Papa, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Every time that it moves to the F, just watch that last cello right there. And again, one option is just, you know, just let it walk down on the C minor, or just make sure that everything kind of goes. In this case, it's another option. And again, I'm not trying to get too morbid. Thanks for tapping in. Too technical, but it helps hopefully sometime. You drop from F sharp to D sharp, which in you know, none of those are in your C minor that everything else is following. And the vocal is following, because the vocal's moving melodies too. You have a cello moving melody, you have a vocal moving melody, and you have a progression underneath. None of those have like the accidentals of like the C sharp, or in this case, the F sharp as well. So that's where a lot of your tension's coming from right there. So one option would be just, you know, Jacob's in the building, Howlermouth is in the building. It's been so long, man. It's been months. I hope you're doing fabulous, man. Thank you for tapping in. So like, you know, you could, of course, just bring everything back, or you could move to, F sharp, I'm sorry, F to D sharp. You could move to like a C diminished, right? So if you have everything, so C diminished would be here. I mean, I love C diminished, sounds great. But you just want everything to follow that. So you'd have kind of a, you know, you just kind of need everything to follow. And you can do that, but just make sure more elements are following it, so that more are following the D sharp and F sharp right there to create the C diminished. So you're basically going from a C minor kind of root chord to a C diminished root chord. Just make sure everything follows that. Because if half of them, if some go to a C diminished and some go to a C minor, it's just kind of just a little bit nasty, Not, you know, you can do whatever you want in music. You know, that's the fun part. But I think the more that you have kind of in line, the more that you have like pointed in the same direction, I think the more, you know, cohesive and you know, more transparent it's going to feel. Lexa's in the building. Lexa, welcome in. Yeah, if anybody's coming in, how's the best Torvik I know so far? Time I'm doing pretty good. Outside of allergy stuffing my nose up, I'm doing all right. I'm doing pretty good. I love that. That's cool, Morbid. I love that. Yeah, if anybody wants to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and just read through and follow all the details right there. Hello. Let me see. Sorry, let me double check a few things real quick. And let me go back through. Chat, give me 2 seconds here. Oh, Hold on. Let's go, Howlett. You got a new song for your last song is crazy. Let me know really quick. Who just sent in through CA as well. Let me know who just sent in from the CA so I can get you up on the board. If you want to know the line, go to my profile and just click, go to the red app or the purple app. Red app is probably the best. Go to the red app, the white T. Go to the red app and Six Dub, got you. Let me get you up there. Go to the red app and you'll see the line, the order, the minimum right there. And you can find all of that on my profile. Definitely, Paris. Definitely. We look with a shit ton of different genres here. Six Dub in the building. Let me get you up here and then Derek will move on. I've listened to some Tame Impala. I'm not super familiar with the names. All right, let's dig a little bit deeper here. What's up, Nigel? Welcome in. Go to my profile, click on the link. When you move into this structure right here, the vocals, outside of when you get towards your outro a little bit, the vocals a little bit lonely. It's a little bit lonely. What are you confused about, Morbid? What are you confused about? How long is the line? I haven't got long. The line's as long as you want it to be, because you can always move forward if you want to right now. But I've got a chunk, maybe 8 people or so in line right now. If anybody wants to submit, it's at my profile. Click on the link and just read through and follow all of the details right there. If you would like to check the line, just go to the red app, YT. That's where you can see the line, the order, the minimum, so on and so on. So we got 7 tracks left-ish, 6 or 7 tracks left. It's the 10 minimum right now. 20 would put you next, currently speaking. Yeah, but we take about 30 minutes. Yeah, you're good. Asking my name. I'm not checking music. Don't do it. I'm not checking music. We're doing like 30 to 40 minute long, typically 30 to 40 minute long consultations. I'm not like playing your music and then moving on and like listening once and spending 2 minutes saying you just need a better mix and then move on. I'm listening to your song like 2 to 3 times, getting into the details of mix and master, the profile and structure of your song, stuff like that, sound design choices, etc. Okay, let me get back into the structure here. But yeah, you're never going to see a poll on the screen to see if people like it. There's no trash or pass. There's no ratings, nothing like that. And yeah, I'm just offering a service. I'm just offering a service. Okay, let me. Goodness gracious, y'all, I'm going through it today. Okay, let me get into this. And 6dub, I got you on the board. All right, Derek, let's focus. I say let's, but it's just me. Okay, that's what I was talking about. Okay. Yeah. DJ, go to my profile, click on the link, read through all the details right there. All of the details are laid out at that link. Yeah, the D sharp. So the D sharp, or no, I'm sorry, not the D sharp, the F sharp. So in the C minor scale, well, you're skipping through the details that I'm talking about. So definitely make sure that you go through all of that, because I explained the whole structure there. D sharp. So D sharp is in the C minor scale. So you can keep if you want to keep it just in C minor, the D sharp is present in the C minor scale. It's the F sharp, and the F. Yeah, the F sharp. Whoa, hold on. Wait, hold on. It might be the B. It might be the B below. Hold on. It might be the B below then. Let me see. I might be hearing it wrong. There's something about being broken. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so there's the C minor, C harmonic minor. Okay, so then it's still just the F and B. That's still where your F and your tension is coming from. So it's still the second. It's just not the F and F sharp. It's the B and C. So you have those notes playing it. So it's the B. Sorry, I was mistaken. That's the harmonic minor going down. So it's the B. It's when you move to the B. So in that case, because everything is kind of here, and then you have the B. Now, I mean, the B doesn't sound bad like on its own. We just same thing as we were talking before. We just need everything to line up with that. We need everything to line up. The line is on the red app, YT. I can't say it on TikTok because they get a little weird around it. If you go to my profile, and YT being the other platform that you watch videos on, the line is over there on the red app, or the purple app. Starts with a T. Yeah, I'll double check everything here in just a moment to make sure that everything's good to go. Yeah, so just double check the B, not the, I'm sorry, not the F sharp in this case. It's the B underneath it. Okay, let's move into this next section here.
It's in my design that I cannot die while trying.
Yeah, that's where it's coming from. Okay, so here, so you have a big swell of energy here. You know, you have some, you know, reverses, some swells, some anticipation here, some growth, dynamically speaking. I would match that with the vocal, right? So you stay pretty lonely in mono with the vocal right here. Rips, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. I would add in at the very least just like a double to that vocal, if not maybe a harmony to it, left or right, or left and right, to open up the structure here just a little bit more, because the music gets incredibly dynamic. And once that music is actually mixed, it'll feel even more wide and dynamic than it does right now. Because right now, like, those cinematic drums are pulled fairly far back. They're not really forward. You're not getting a lot of, you know, huge snap and dynamic out of like your spiccatos in the background. So I would prioritize making sure more, but thank you for the follow. Prioritize making sure that lead vocal, yeah, it's at about 43. I'm assuming this is kind of like your pre-chorus here. I would get that with some support. Do, 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 do on this vocal here. On the do on that lead vocal right there, I would just support it a little bit. It could be very subtle. It could be a very subtle double of that vocal, like a double track left or right, or even just a pretty close double to the center right there. Just give it some support. It's going to be competing with a lot of energy, so just making sure that it's got some support in the mix. There we go. Hold on. I was like, wait, what's going on? I would clarify that melody right here too. I'll timestamp it for you. See how you hear that? You hear, like, I think it's like the auto-tune catching it again, because you're running to do a melody here. Like, that's your melody. Is strictly off of the C minor once again, but you have other instrumentation doing the harmonic minor falling down, right? So once again, that B is kind of cutting into the structure there. So either, because the harmonic minor is cool. It gives you it gives you a really cool feel. It gives some great tension. But you hear, I think the vocal's fighting it in the auto tune or something like that. I don't know if you have the vocal tuned to a strict C minor or a harmonic minor, but that's where you're getting a lot of tension. You can hear the auto-tune kind of pulling between the two notes right there. Get rid of, or I mean, here's the thing is, like, I like it. So, like, I love. It's cool. Like, it makes it feel really ethereal. I like it a lot. Like, there's nothing wrong with the B. It just has to be pointed. You just can't have, you know, you just can't have those three notes hitting at the same time between the strings and the vocals, because they're going to sit in a pretty similar frequency profile, and at the same time, they're all hitting kind of at the same time. So I would just clarify some of those melodies right there, and just make sure when that vocal hits the B flat, in this case, when it hits the B flat, that no other elements are hitting B. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you're getting all of that tension. What's up? Thanks for tapping in. So right there, we're at 1:07. At 1:07, that's where you're running into some tension. And the other thing that you can do is you can change your scale on like Intar's Autotune or Wavestone or whatever you're using. You can change the scale, but you can also just add in bypassed or unbypassed notes, right? So if you're in the key, if you want to keep most of your elements without the B and just B and C minor all the way through here, you can easily just add in a B as an accidental or automate it on and off, right? Like through your automation on Autotune, you could automate that on and off as well to only sometimes correct to a strict C major where you're going to the B flat, or if you want to occasionally walk into a C harmonic minor down and utilize the B in there, then you can just automate that if you want to. Grady's in the building. What's up, Grady? Good to see you, man. Let me skip forward just a little bit. But there's 100% more. But I say this all the time. Absolutely, Grady. 100%. 100%. 100%. I talk about this all the time, but even for people who are just doing music for fun, music is a lot more fun when you're good at it. Like, you just ever struggled? You ever like play a video game or do anything and you're bad at it? Like, you try to draw something, you do like a little fun art class, but you suck and you just hate everything. Or you play a board game and you're losing the whole time. It sucks. It sucks when you're bad at things. It's not fun. It's not fun. So I encourage anyone, even if you do music for fun, if you're really bad at the things you're trying to do, you're just going to be frustrated with the whole process, and then it doesn't feel freeing and like a good release and like good therapy. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel fun if you're just like, dude, I'm like just beating myself up the whole time. So yeah, I recommend getting good, even if you're doing it for fun and it's just a pastime for you, it's a hobby, whatever. Get good at it. It'll be more fun if you're good at it. 100%, Derek. Got you, Jacob. I'll double check. A little bit of the walking there too. Which studio monitors should I get for $1,200? What do you do, Manny? That would be a little bit of both in between Word War. But yeah, we're in the middle of some consultations. So we're doing consultations with artists and producers and musicians and songwriters and stuff like that. Jacob, I got you. And then in between, people are asking questions. I try to answer as many as I can to kind of, get in between and stuff. Miranda, thank you for the heartbeat. I see that. Thank you so much. Are you like mixed? So the reason why I ask is like $1,200 isn't like a crazy. It's not a crazy. Welcome in, Miranda. It's not like a crazy budget, especially if you need like high detail reference, like studio mixing monitors, right? Like you can get a pretty solid pair of like good production monitors and stuff like that, but it is going to be, it really kind of depends on your price. If you do a lot of if you're not like an engineer, if you're not like an engineer and you're not going to drop like, $3,000-$4,000 on like Barefoots or like really high quality focals. What's up, Teresa? Welcome in. If you're not going to spend like a whole bunch of money on something like that, then I would recommend getting something that's going to be like a really good spectrum and a really good spread, solid listening, like a, variable listening position. That's not anything too focused. That's good for production and referencing your mixes and productions and stuff like that. In that case, I'd probably go with like Cali Audio, like the IN8s, I think, or something like that. CNET, welcome in. I think the IN8s are something like $800, $1,200 ish. I'm making that up a little. It's something around there. Even the focals that I use for like production monitors in here, I have some Focal Alpha 65s or something like that. Those are like $1,000, something like that. I highly recommend those. Solid low end. I don't mix on them a whole lot. I typically mix on these because these are like better quality than the monitors. These are really solid headphones, especially for referencing and mixing. But if you're just like want to hear yourself in the room and it sounds pretty dope when you do that, then I would get something like from the Calis. I think for the bang for your buck, the size of the speaker, this also depends on your room. It also depends on treatment and stuff. But if you really just want to reference and it sound dope so you can kind of hear what you're doing, go with something from the mid-tier focals are fantastic. That's what I have, some of those in here as well. Or the IN8s. The IN8s are fantastic. I know a bunch of like Grammy winning, like the best of the best engineers that have the IN8s, and the IN8s are fantastic. Highly recommend them. Those are an 8-inch sub. I believe it's a 3-way speaker, so you're going to get a little bit more separation. It's pretty fantastic. Okay, let me update a few things here. Give me 2 seconds. And then Derek, we got to finish your stuff. Just popping in, but message me, please, some ideas. Okay, got you. Yeah, I got you. Thank you so much, Teresa. I appreciate you a lot. Yeah, check them out. IN8s are great. I literally know a Grammy-winning engineer who mixes on those pretty exclusively. Desert Island Sample Library. Like what kind of sample? What's a studio? It's just the speakers in the room. Your reference speakers. Okay, so like not your monitor. Spitfire. I would go Spitfire. I have a bunch of Spitfire stuff. I think Spitfire makes some of the best orchestral cinematic libraries out there. They're the ones who actually have licensing deals with Abbey Road. They have licensing deals with the BBC Orchestra. They have licensing deals with Hans Zimmer, so you can just buy Hans Zimmer strings and pianos and drums on there. I think those are some of the most in-depth, really. Embertone Audio also has some great ones. My favorite piano, I need to re-download it because I had like a corrupted file. But Spitfire Audio, and there's East West is great. But Spitfire is just like, Man, you could drop some money on Spitfire. They have some great free stuff. Get Labs. Spitfire Labs is great. They have a bunch of free instruments on there. They have a lot of other smaller ones that are like $30, $60. I have a bunch of those like intimate strings I use all the time for cinematic stuff. Those are great. Didn't Spitfire just sell to Splice? Oh, I don't know. I'm not actually. I think I did hear something about that. Eytan. I do think I heard something about that. Give me 2 seconds, y'all. I gotta update some things here. So give me just one moment. I'm gonna get Jacob at the top here. Let me just update the line so I can keep everything current because I know I'm talking a lot. Which there's no getting away from that. And then, so Eytan, this is that does sound familiar. There's a lot of companies getting bought out right now. There's a lot getting bought out right now. Okay, so is that a skip forward, Eytan, or is it a second song? Just so I know what to put on. No, so I know what to put on the list. I'm actually gonna move that up right there. Second song. Okay, so let me get you with the ×2 right here. And then Derek, I swear we will finish your track. It's chaos. Okay, I do like to answer questions, so I hope it's valuable. Outcast, thank you for the heart me. I appreciate you a lot. All right, let's get into it. I'll answer some more questions later, but let's dive in. Yes, I got you. Or hold on. Is it it's a different name, right, Grady? I know, Derek, you know how it is. Yeah, Morbid, I don't think I have a submission for you. So if y'all are coming in and you are wanting to submit, I update the line. That's what I just said. I update the line constantly over the course of the live. So if you want to submit, just go to, yeah. Okay, I was just making sure. I was like, I think I remember that. I just want to get the right name up there. If you want to submit, go to my profile, click. Okay, let me see. It could be under a different name. So let me just see. There's Eytan. And no, I might have you. Is it under a different Morbid? Yeah, I got you, Morbid. Joe, thank you for the hat and mustache, man. I appreciate you. All love to Joe. Shout out to Joe. I appreciate the hat and mustache, man. Thank you for your generosity. I'll be on tomorrow, I think. Yeah, tomorrow afternoon. Okay, yeah, sorry, it was under a different name, so sometimes I'll see like the actual name and the payment name and the artist name on the email and the account on TikTok are like 4 different names, and I'm like, wait, hold on, who am I even looking at? Okay, so I got you, Rix. I'll get you saved. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for tapping in today. I'll make sure that I get yours set up for tomorrow as well. Okay, let me get Morbid. Let me get you up here. Beautiful. Okay, I think I have everything updated. If not, I'll update it here in a second. And then Grady, you sent in. Hold on. Okay, 1 second. Boom. Grady, got you. I'm trying to stay on top. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Grady's in the building. Beautiful. I'm excited to hear some Grady. Fabulous. Okay, let's keep it going. Derek, you know the deal. Appreciate you, Rix. Because I love the dynamic here, and that's why I think those stacks are so important, right? You big dynamics, shrink it down to a lower dynamic structure. I love what you're already doing here. I'm going to skip into this last part right here. I think I got you. Oh, no, I got you. Thank you so much, Grady. I appreciate you. I want to get into this last section here because there's just some like timing and phrasing issues with the vocal. We can clarify, we can polish a little bit. But so much of what you have going on here, Derek, I think is really interesting. It's really dynamic. I just want like polish, right? A little bit of polish, a little bit better just expression with some of the things that we're talking about here. Let me skip into this last section. Gotcha. Right here. Yeah, right here. So there's like a 10, 20 millisecond rush here as well. Tyler, thank you for tapping in. Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. There's like a 10, 20 millisecond rush in front of this pocket right here. So that little pocket right there, you'll hear like one vocal coming a little bit early, one kind of stacked over it. Yeah, and that needs to be pushed back. It's a little bit rushed and then just lined up. KFPL, welcome in. Good to see you. It's been a minute. Thanks for tapping back in. Yeah, it just needs to be pushed over. It needs to be realigned. If you want to line up those vocals exactly, of course, I would just, priority would just pretty full right now, KPL or KFPL, decently full. I would just check it over on YT, check it over on the Red app. That way you can see kind of line order minimum, stuff like that. I would say it's fairly full right now. We got like 12, 15 people on, something like that. But yeah, I would line up the main vocal so your rhythm structure, your phrasing is lined up with the production exactly how you want it without it being rushed or anxious, because it is going to increase that feeling of anxiety and that rushed feeling right there. And I want it to be settled into, I want it to feel energetic, but I want it to be settled into the production. Gotcha. It's literally changing every like 20 seconds. So I don't like telling people and then they go and it's different than what I just told them and they send in, it's different. That's why I say, just go check the line, because it might be different in 30 seconds with someone else sending it. So I try to keep it as consistent as possible. Okay. So yeah, just realign the main lead vocal right there, and then make sure that the secondary vocal, the doubles of that vocal, is lined to that as well. You can use Vocal Line. There's a new, cheaper plugin that I think just came out fairly recently. That is, I haven't tried it. I haven't gotten it. I just don't need it because I have Vocal Line. But Vocal Line does a great job of lining up vocals. It does a really, really good job of lining up vocals. And right there, because what you're hearing is da 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 da. It walks down right there from like to the 7. So da. You hear that walk down, but then the other one doesn't walk down to like one more bar later or like one more count later. So at one point you're getting this. Or so it's the 3rd from the C minor, right? It's just right here. Like you're getting those 2 notes at the same time within one vocal structure. So just make sure that da, da, that walk down from the 3 to the 2, make sure that that is like lined up and they're both doing the same thing together. Otherwise, you're going to hear the tension between those 2 notes. Got you, Eytan. Flexi, thank you for the follow. No problem. No problem at all. That's what we're here for. That's why these aren't rushed, right? That's why I'm not like trying to go as fast as possible and I'm going to kick through these in 5 minutes. We're taking time. We're taking some time. We're going to sit here for a minute. We're going to spend 30 minutes listening to your track. We're going to dig into it, offer some actionable feedback, some tools. I'm not here to rush to it. This is it's not a pay to play. It's not a quick spin. So if you're in the line, we're going to spend some time there, and that's what we're here for. Okay, so right in here. Right there. Da, da, and then you hear that da right there. You're hearing the tension between the 1 and the 2 and the 3 right there. So just line those up, make sure that they are hitting those notes at the same time. Now, most of your production structure, outside of some of those early things that we're talking about, like with between the spiccatos and the chord structure and the vocal, moving to the B and the harmonic minor versus the C minor strict, like the natural minor, like between those 2 things right there and vocal structure, that's what I would prioritize. I would prioritize getting those things lined up, get them pointed in the same direction, get everything moving really, really smoothly. And I feel like you're going to be much, much, much better off. Y'all show some love to Derek. Show some love to Derek. I'm going to use the restroom, y'all. I'm going to go use the restroom, and I'll be right back for just a bit more music. So if you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link. Just please read through and follow all the details and check the line over on the Red app, YT. We're going to get into a couple more songs here, but shout out to Derek Bennett one more time. I'm going to use the restroom, and then we will be back with some more music. Give me just 1 second. All right. I'll be back in a minute, y'all. And then we'll get into a couple more songs here. Shout out to you, Derek. Shout out to you. You're amazing, man. I appreciate you so much. Joey, thank you for the follow. let's see. All right, y'all, let's keep going with some music. Joey, I appreciate you tapping in. Thank you so much for being here. If anybody wants to submit, we're gonna keep going with some music here right now. I believe we've got Jacob up next. If you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and just just read through and follow all the details there, and we'll get you up on the board, ready to go. I appreciate you so much, Derek. I appreciate you all. And it's on to album 4 for Testament. Let's go, man. Shout out to Derek one more time. Make sure y'all are following, tap into with him, tap into his streams, etc. Very, very talented, very, very talented individual. There we go. Gotta get these plugged in all the way. Okay. Let's dive in. Jacob, hop in the chat. Give me 2 seconds just to make sure I've got everything updated here. Because I know we had some moves. I know things might move in a second here, so I don't want to speak too soon. Let's see. Eytan, I got you. And then Eytan, let me know how because you have 2 songs, so let me know how you want to distribute that. You want me to add 10 to one and 15 to the other? Joey, thank you for the rose, and thank you for the heart me. I appreciate your generosity. Jenna's in the building. What's up, Jenna? Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Yeah, let me know how you want to move those forward since it's an odd number between the 2 tracks. And let me double check here real quick. Thank you, Jenna. I appreciate that. Shout out to Libby for designing this shirt. Let me know, Eytan, just so I know where you would be in the line. I can make sure everything's lined up. Riot Act, thanks for tapping in. I got your other one. Grady. Hold on, I got to do my puzzle. 1 second. I got to let the TikTok gods know that I'm here. Beautiful. Okay, so you sent 25, but let me know which, Grady, I'm going to get you updated right now. Let me know how because you have 2 songs up there. So let me know how you want me. Do you want me to add 10 to one and 15 to another? Do you want to send 5 more to do 15 on both? Or let me know. Just because you have 2 songs, so the 25 would be split unevenly. So yeah, let me know how you want me to split that up. I can do 10 and 15 or however you want to. Totally up to you. Yeah, if anybody wants to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and just read through and follow all the details there. We'll get you up on the board. I'm going to go ahead and start. Based on the line that I have here already, I do need to hold up. Wait a minute. There's my thing here. I need to go ahead and update some of this here. So the minimum has updated just because we're okay. 10 to 15. Okay, so we're going to go 20 and a 25. Okay, just so I can put those in their proper spots. Okay, beautiful. Sammy's in the building. What's up, Sammy? Thank you so much. Jenna, thank you. I like this microphone a lot too. I posted some videos on it. TikTok's just weird. Like sometimes TikTok is like great, and then other times it doesn't do shit. And I just here left in the dark. But either way, I made a video on this mic because it's one of those mics that like not a lot of people really talk about, but it's a really, 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 really good microphone. I love it a lot. Okay. Okay, so Grady, I'm just making sure I'm caught up. I'm just making sure I have everybody in the right place. Again, y'all keep your eye on the line. If you're on TikTok, just have it open on another screen or another tab or something like that. So you can just check the red app, YT. You can check the line to make sure that you're updated over time. I got Grady, Jacob, Eytan, Eytan twice, Rick's 6-Dub, Morbid, Blue Whispering Trees, Mikhail, MC Charismatic, Jotun. Those should be Magnus. Welcome in. Okay, so let's move into it. We got Grady in the building. I'm going to try to move at a good pace. Today. So we got. I know Grady's in here. Jacob, I got you. I just saw that come in. So let me get everything. Moving here, y'all. This was my wife's first time singing into a microphone. Let's go. Okay. Let's move. That way I can get through these at a good pace. Grady. All right. Any other details you want me to know as far as production and mix? Let me know, Grady. Yeah, go to if you go to my profile, go to the red app, YT, or the purple app, starts with a T. Go to either one of those apps, which is the full stream, and you can see the line, the order, and minimums right there. Work in progress. All right, let's get into it. I'm going to try to get through this because I know we got Jacob in here. We're going to try to move it at a good pace. All your production and mix, right?
Can't seem to define, and we give in a craving.
Beautiful.
And neither of us can deny. I lay you down like the sun at night. Like all this is gonna just change my life.
Tony, welcome in.
Another kiss takes me so damn high. I wish this wasn't a lie. Just stay away from my heart, it's understanding. Oh, no need to say goodbye. This love's for just a moment.
Nice, man. This is right.
I think we understand the basics. It's basic. Our bodies work, but we won't change our status. So stay away from my heart. It's never open.
Let's go, Grady. Thank you. Appreciate you. I love him.
Why stop at just maybe?
And this is your wife?
When I'm here every night, I don't need you to save
Let's go.
me from what you thought would just be a lie. I lay you down like the sun at night. Like all this is gonna just change my life. Another kiss takes me so damn
She's got a great voice.
I wish this wasn't a lie. Just stay away from my heart. It's understood.
Guitar tone's great, man.
Oh, no need to say goodbye. This love's for just a moment. Oh, I think we understand the basics. It's basic. Our bodies work, but we won't change our status. So stay away from my heart. It's never open.
Nice, man. This is really good.
Oh, yeah.
Guitar tone is really, really nice. It's really, really nice. It's crunchy, tastefully between clean and dirty. I like it a lot, man. It's really nice. Stellar Bite, welcome in. Y'all, give it up one time. Give it up one time. That is Grady Finch right here. Red Tongues, welcome into the stream as well. That is Grady Finch right here in the chat. That's called A Lie with Raven. I'm going to try to move at a good pace. I say 20 to 30 and it ends up being 40. Let's try to do 20. Let's try to do 20. Let's move at a good pace. So I'm going to try not to rant too much, although who knows. Let's dive into it. A Lie with Raven by Grady Finch. Your wife has a great voice, man. It's really, really well done. She obviously can hold a tune. The structure is good. Your guitar tone is amazing. Guitar tone's fantastic. So let's dive in. Alan's in the building. What's up, Alan? Let's dive in. Let's run it from the top and let's get into the details. Hey, good to see you, Alan. I appreciate you being here. All right, let's get it.
This sauce is
Love the early introduction to the vocal. We talk about this every single live stream. Getting into your track quickly. If you want retention, you want replay value, show people who you are within the first 10 seconds. Let them know that there is an artist there, that it's not just one of 50 billion instrumentals and random AI tracks, whatever that gets put out every day. Let people know there's a real artist in front of you. It's really, really beneficial to just introduce yourself as an artist early on somehow. And there's a million different ways to do that. Introduce yourself as an artist somehow early on. This is a beautiful variation of that. Hey, all love, Alan. Within a second, you're in.
That we can't seem to define, and we give in to cravings, and neither of us can deny.
Yeah, anything, any genre.
I lay you down like the sun at
Let's talk about some like super simple stuff that you absolutely don't need to follow if you don't want to, but just kind of as an idea. I don't think I did that. Yeah, there's easy ways. We could talk through it more. We could talk through it. There's some easy ways to do it.
This sauce is a maybe.
Have an idea, feel free to ignore it. It's not necessary. This sounds really good as is. One idea, just to help you stair step your dynamics a little bit more and it not feel too strict segment to segment, would be to do the first part of the song with just the drone. You have like a little shimmer in the background and the electric guitar, which tonally gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. I love it. And then 4 measures in, introduce the reintroduce that synth melody, which is a really nice warm melody. I love that. It's very, very nice. It fits in there beautifully. Lexi, welcome in. But maybe going 4 measures without it instead of it being right off the bat, so it's not too on the nose, and you don't have too much of the exact same sound design over like 8 measures. You have like a chance to just step up and step up and step up, so that the sound design is continually morphing. So I would just have shimmer, drone in the background, electric guitar, like clean electric guitar right there in the middle with the lead vocal right away, and then 4 measures in, introduce the that little lead melody over the top right there. Just like after like the first, like 4 measures or so. So all of this just electric. And then right here, 3, 4.
And we give in to cravings, and neither of us can.
Like it'll just give you like every 4 measures, every 4 bars, there's like a step up and then a step up. And then you can step it back down and then step it back up. It just gives you small changes in sound design, keeps the brain interested, keeps the mind intrigued. It allows your ears to continually adapt to new information, so it stays interesting and it stays really dynamic. It's like a tiny little detail. It's like here's a 3-second revision that can make a song feel more alive. It doesn't necessarily feel like things are just, and most of your music doesn't. You're a really talented producer and artist, but most of your music doesn't do this, but speaking to everybody. So it doesn't feel too sterile and segmented, where it's like, here is a verse and here's what a verse sounds like, and here's a chorus and here's what a chorus sounds like. But it feels like the song's alive and it moves and it flows, and the dynamics that you have are, there's like little connective tissue as things kind of step up and step down. Little things like that can go a long ways to making a song feel more interesting. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. And if anybody wants to submit, I'm getting closer towards closing the line here in the next few submissions. So please check minimums over on YT on the Red app. Go check the line, the order, the minimum and stuff over there, because they got about 6 tracks left, and I want to make sure that the minimums are clear, just because I don't want people to submit too low and not be able to get heard. So just check those first, and if you would like to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, you just read through and follow all the details there. Torvik, would you recommend Pro Tools or Logic? Depends on what you need to use it for, the kind of interface that you would prioritize, and your budget. Pro Tools is expensive as hell. I spend about $400 or $500 a year on Pro Tools. Probably about $500 a year on Pro Tools alone. So Logic is $200 one-time updates for life, and that's easy, right? Like that's, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Logic is great. I recommend Logic to a lot of people. It's a great balance between production, it has good stock instruments, good stock stuff like that, a good stock effects and stock processing, great vocal comping. It's great for stuff like that. So it kind of just depends on, like, are you prioritizing mixing and comping? Are you prioritizing live tracking instruments and vocals? Or are you prioritizing a balance of all of these elements for cheaper? If you want a balance of all these elements and you're on a MacBook and you want to go a little bit cheaper, then go with Logic. Scarlett interface and for recording and mixing vocals. You're not going to go wrong with any one. It kind of just depends on what you like. Like the interface for Logic is pretty simple. It's GarageBand on steroids. It feels very familiar and it's cheap. It's, like I said, Pro Tools, at least the version that I have, it's like $500 a year. So it's, it really just depends on your priorities, right? Like, if you're going to be taking sessions to other engineers, you're going to be taking it to like major studios and stuff like that, then you have Logic, but I really suck with it. If you suck, your words, I'm not saying you do. If you suck with Logic, then Pro Tools isn't going to fix that. Pro Tools is not going to like give you a leg up and be simpler. If you suck with Logic, get better at Logic. There's no reason to switch. That's your only answer. What you will do to understand Logic better is the same thing that you would do to get better at Pro Tools, right? Understanding your interface for mixing and mastering, understanding the balance between all these different elements, understanding the mixing interface, understanding how to comp, understanding your stock instruments and plugins and stuff like that, getting better at compression, EQ, positioning. All of that is the same stuff you're going to have to get better with on Pro Tools. You'll just switch to Pro Tools and be like, damn, I suck at Pro Tools too. You just got to get better. You got to get better at understanding your interface. Learn some quick keys. You know what I mean? Learn some quick keys so that you can comp easier and faster and edit and undo and chop and splice and stuff like that. That will help. That will help. But if you just switch, you'll be equally as frustrated, if not more, because of some of the complexities within Pro Tools. So anyways, that'd be my recommendation. If you have Logic, there's no reason to spend $500 a year on Pro Tools. Just keep it, unless you're missing something, but I don't think you are. All right, let's keep it going.
Down like the sun at night, like all this is gonna just change my life. Another kiss takes me so damn high.
One other quick recommendation on this, Grady. Again, I think that like 95% of what you have within this production structure is brilliant. It's really, really well done. There's great melodies, great counter melodies. Your top line is really nice, good, consistent, repetitive, catchy vocals. Dude, nailed it. You're so talented, and your production is really, really nice. Only thing I would recommend is getting that guitar out of the way of the lead vocal. They're just sitting in a very similar fundamental pocket. So, 600 hertz to 1500 hertz, there's a lot of overlap right there between that lead guitar, where it's sitting in mono in the middle of the mix, and your lead vocal. So I would either probably like chorus it, get it out of the way, like get a stereo chorus on it, maybe some mid-side processing, pull it out of the middle, introduce some of those same mids to the outside of the mix in stereo, or double track it. I think this is a great opportunity for you to open up the mix on this pre-hook right here. So you could definitely, yeah, exactly, right? Do something like that. I think a double track would be great to make the sound really wide and open, contrasted with a drier center lead vocal right there. So creating a note of that melody right there, I think would be beautiful. So little things, right? How you do that is obviously up to you. But I would just get it out of, if they're operating in the same place, they're stepping on each other's toes. So get it out of the way of the lead vocal, get it to the side with some creative effects, or ideally like a double track and some creative effects to just be able to have control over your panning again. Otherwise they're kind of stepping on each other a little bit in the middle there. Okay, let me get to your wife's vocals. Or let me get through the hook and then your wife's vocals, man. But yeah, you're crushing it. This is a great track, man. I use FL Studio. I'm gonna need to know if I should be on Logic or Pro Tools. Same answer more, but it's like, it really just depends on what you like. I have FL Studio too. I've used them all. I've had Ableton, I've had Logic, I've had Pro Tools, I've had Reason, I've had Studio One. I've used them all at different times for different reasons, depending on the context of the job that I was doing. And it's like, it just depends. Like there's things that like if you are a producer solely, if you are a producer and that's all you do, you're making beats, you're producing, I highly recommend that you're on FL Studio or Ableton. Ableton I think is better, but better is subjective. Ableton and FL Studio are going to have the best MIDI control. They're going to have the best sample manipulation, the best interface for effects processing. Like if you're producing and you're a producer, that is what you do. You make money producing. I would suggest that you invest in Ableton, invest in FL Studio at like a high level of FL Studio. Those are going to be great. If you are largely tracking vocals and mixing, tracking live instrumentation and mixing and comping, then you're going to probably do better off with something like Pro Tools, something like Studio One, something like Logic. They're just going to have a better interface for those things. Again, everything just has a different interface. It has different priorities for the end user. And so you just kind of have to decide like what works well for you, right? Like what do you prioritize? It's like having an Apple versus a Samsung or something like that, or a Google, whatever. Like they largely do like a lot of the same things, right? Like they both have like pretty good cameras. They take 4K video and they have little AI things in there and they have really bright screens and long battery life, right? They do a lot of the same things, but what interface prioritizes the way that you use a phone, right? Like what gives you, if you prioritize control and editing over, the quality of the camera, you have to just decide what you prioritize. And the ecosystem you want to be a part of, right? Same thing with like DAWs. It's like, what do you do more of? What do you prioritize in an interface? Do you want like simplicity? Do you want editability? Do you want, the ability to like really, really dig into like live sound editing and comping and playlisting and stuff like that? Then a DAW that does that as a priority, like Pro Tools, Studio One, and Logic, is going to be something you're going to want to look for. So I just write lyrics and now attempt to sing. Then yeah, I would keep it simple. Keep it simple. 100%. You don't need to do anything Dude, yeah. Shout out to Grady. Shout out to Grady. I need some engineer. I don't rate. There's no ratings. There's no review. There's no trash or pass or polls or anything like that. These are long form consultations, which we very well can still do. They're long form consultations. They take about 30 minutes a piece, 20 to 30 minutes a piece. So anyways, if you want to dig into that, go to my profile, click on the link, but check the line first over on the Red app, YT. All right, let's get a little bit deeper into this, Grady. I want to get your hook and then your wife's vocals, and then we can head out. Okay.
I think we understand the basics. It's basic. Our bodies work, but we won't change our status. So stay away from my heart. It's never open. Oh yeah.
Why stop at just maybe?
Okay, let's get into the. Is it recorded in the same environment, same mic and stuff like that? Let me know really quick, Brady. Yeah, y'all tap in, man. This is a great community. Again, we just have a lot of people in here that are serious about music, even if it's for fun. Even if it's for fun, they're still taking their fun stuff seriously. You know, it's like the people that go out and spend $3,000 on golf clubs. It's like, well, obviously you're not going pro. This is for fun, but you're serious about your fun. You want to do fun stuff really well. We have a lot of people in here that are serious about their craft, even if they don't do it professionally. Not everyone here is full-time musicians and full-time engineers and producers, but they're very, very talented and willing to work and willing to grow because they want to. They want to maybe make it something that's full-time and they want to collaborate. So yeah, y'all network with each other. Find people if you like it. Man, I actually really like this female vocal in here. It sounds really, really cool. I could use that in my EDM remixes. Then tap in with these people, you know, show them some love. Hey, thank you so much for tapping in for the first time. I appreciate you being here. Shout out to you. All right, let me get a little deeper into this record here. It's just fun. It's silly gaming content, but I want to be better. 100%. I respect that a lot. Okay. You said same vocals, same environment, same mic. The only thing that I would say on her vocal right now is you have a much larger bias towards the high end. Her vocal is a little shrill, a little bit brittle, and the top, 8K plus. 8K plus it sounds like it's been pushed pretty high up. I can't remember what kind of mic that you're recording with, but I'm assuming it's a pretty bright one, like an NT1 or something like that. It's very bright. It's very open at the top end. And that's where you're getting a lot of that kind of like shrillness because it's also boosted at like 10K. 5-6 dB or something like that. So you're getting a lot of brightness. It's a little bit brittle and a little bit thin at the bottom. I would love to warm up her vocal, rebalance it. So soften some of that top end right there. So the boost at the, high shelf boost at the top, soften that by like 2 or 3 dB, reintroduce some warmth between like 200 and 500 hertz, just regain some of like the natural characteristics and like fundamental characteristics of her vocal. So that it feels a little warmer, a little softer, and not nearly as shrill and bright and brittle at the top end. Rebalance slightly right there, and then just check levels and between you and hers as well. Once you do that to kind of re-soften it. Right now it's pretty brittle, and I think if you just soften some of the harsher EQ curves that you have going on, that will help mitigate some of that. And then if you need to readdress de-essing after that, you can, but I would soften high end first, because probably what's happening is you're boosting 8K plus, 10K plus, which is making sibilance a little bit more prominent. It's making it a little bit more resonant in the mix. And I think by softening that, you'll help. If you need it farther, then de-ess lightly after that to just pull down, just a couple dB of control where some of that sibilance is coming in a little bit harsher. I use my vocal chain for ease at the yeah. So just go back through it. And just kind of double check, because like most vocal chains are like doing a lot, and unless you're doing something incredibly stylistic and really specific to a genre or something like that, you could get a couple compressors, a couple EQs, a de-esser, and some saturation, like some tuning if you need it. Like a lot of vocal chains, there's like people ask about vocal chains all the time, but like there's nothing crazy. There's nothing crazy about it, right? So if you're using the same vocal chain, that's fine. Just bypass everything and start over, right? So just keep them all there. Keep all your EQs and compression there for now. You can always change it. Bypass everything, go back to the first one and edit up from there so that your future plugins aren't band-aids to mistakes in the first ones, right? So you don't have like a cranked EQ at the first part because you recorded and you have a darker, more mellow vocal and you cranked the high end to get your vocal to the top of the mix. Now her vocal comes in, it's shrill and crazy. Like just go back to your first EQ, rebalance it, regain stage, go to the second, go to your first compressor on there. You're like, oh, it's not triggering the compression at all. Readjust your inputs and outputs and your thresholds. Go to your second compressor, like stuff like that. So just chop it back, just bypass everything, go back to your first processing, your first in your chain, and just rebuild your chain while they're already present there. So you're not editing from scratch. You're just editing some of your like inputs, outputs, thresholds, EQ curves, and stuff like that to match her vocal. Because her vocal is just, it's brighter, it's airier, there's a lot more energy behind it. So you just need to rebalance slightly. Do you think an electronic band could work out samplers, drum machines, synths, etc.? Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. I think that sounds awesome. I think it's just marketing. You know, like if you want something to work out, you just need to put it in front of people in a way that they accept. And if you can do that with anything, yeah, it'll work. I think you just have to position it well, because like show wise, it might not be as engaging because you're behind stuff, right? There's nothing like super cool about someone sitting there at an NPC, you know, even though people do it, you know, like you got to find a way to like make it dynamic. You got to find a way to make it interesting. Maybe y'all are switching between different instruments and you're going crazy on an NPC or like an old like Oberheim DMX or something like that. And you're going crazy on it and you have a big break. Someone does a guitar solo and then you run over to a synth and start playing something. Like, you just got to make it engaging. Got to make it interesting for people to listen to and to watch. But yeah, I mean, anything can work if you market it well. If you market it well and you find people that accept it, and then anything can work.
Just maybe when I'm here every night,
I will, Jenna. Thank you.
I don't need you to save me from what you thought would.
Yeah, she's got a cool voice. Honestly, good tone, good vocal control. It's just too shrill, a little bit brittle at the top end. We just need to like warm it up, like make it a little bit more palatable in the mix. So, but as far as like the performance itself, it's pretty clean. It's pretty open. I don't mind it. Same thing here. Let me hear the.
Why stop at just maybe?
Same thing, the synth kind of gets in the way a little bit now that we have a little bit more information, because you now have a layer to your vocal, so your low vocal is kind of stepping where that synth is. So same thing here, you might just chop it for the first 4 measures and then introduce it a little bit more open on the B section to your verse right here. What's up, John? Welcome in. So on the B section, you can re-add in, you know, a little melody right there at the top. Add that in on a B section, 4 measures in or something like that. That way your first introduction to her vocals, it's shoop, all of the energy, all the focus goes like straight to her vocal.
When I'm here every night.
And right here, and then everything can kind of come back in. Open a hi-hat, you know, bring everything back into the pocket. Not Romeo, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Westfall's in the building. What's up, Westfall?
I don't.
It's literally all over the place. Not Romeo. We have gone from, I mean, this is a harder rock track right here that we have that we're listening from Grady Finch. We came straight from like a cinematic contemporary record before this. I'm pretty sure I've got some rap up on the board. I think we have some more like alternative rock after this, maybe with Jacob, if I'm assuming correctly. I think we got some R&B down the line. We have some EDM artists. It's all over the place. All over the place. Okay, let me dig a little bit deeper. Let's get towards the outro here. But yeah, I think hopefully that helps, Grady. A couple little pockets in there that you can just like reevaluate when and how you introduce certain elements of the production structure. And then once they're introduced, where are they positioned so that they're not stepping on the toes of other elements that are kind of in that same frequency profile. If you could like just navigate a couple of those things, this is a great record, man. It's really, really cool. You have good repetition, good structure, good melodies. Like it's catchy, it's dynamic. Tonal structure is amazing. So like drums, guitar, bass, those sound really, really nice. And the sounds you're using on your synth are very, very well done as well.
My heart, it's understood.
How do you end the cue? Take your time to answer. Oh, sorry. I'm ADHD, so I'm gonna be pausing anyways. Go to my profile, click on the link, just read through and follow the details there. Just check the minimums over on YT, the Red app. I love the last thing. This is the last thing that I'll say. And then we'll move on to Jacob. Jacob, hop in the chat. Just let me know that you're here. You should be up next. Last thing that I'll say right here is I would love, this is like your most dynamic hook kind of here in the middle of the song. You have a really, really high dynamic level here. I love the octave. So you have like the low octave and her vocal sitting over the top, or it's actually maybe more close to the same octave, same register, different register, same octave. Where that's sitting, I think is beautiful. I would also love to hear maybe your vocal with a 3rd note harmony underneath that as well. Because it is a great melody. John Page, welcome in. It's a great melody. It's a great structure. But everything's very much so in a line. Carlos, thank you for the follow. It's very much so in a line just because most things are like octaves. You don't have a stack of lead guitars over the rhythms. So you have like your rhythm guitars, your double track. You have a low 3rd in there? Okay, let me hear it. Hold on. Yeah, because you have a double track rhythm guitar, but no lead harmonic structure over that necessarily. Some synths and stuff. And then a vocal and an octave to that. So everything's very linear. Everything's very lined up as opposed to creating some tension through some harmonies. And the vocals, okay, let me hear it.
I wish this wasn't a lie.
I hear the thirds there. I hear the thirds there. Da, 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 da. Beautiful. I love that. I'm listening for the hook here. Hey, welcome in, Carlos. I appreciate you tapping in so much. I hope you're doing amazing.
Just stay away from my.
There's one in the hook right here.
Stay away from my heart, it's understood.
Oh, I do hear it. I do hear it. Yeah, I do hear it. So as far as personal opinion, they're there. They exist there. I would love to hear those more. I would love to hear those 2 to 3 dB forward. They're wide. They're stacked really well to the vocal. They're comped beautifully. I like where they sit and I like what they're doing. I would just have them forward by like 2 or 3 dB, just to give you a little bit more energy and a little bit more support on the hook, because the guitar is heavy, the drums are open. I would love for those vocals to have just a tad more support. But yeah, this is beautiful. I do hear them way back there.
Just stay away from my heart, it's understood.
Yeah, they're there. They're barely there though. Yeah, put those forward. I mean, those are beautiful harmonies. The way that they come in the hook is really, really well done. Y'all show some love to Grady Finch. I love what you do, Grady. You're incredibly talented. Very, very, very. I think there's like 3 or 4 little like easy. Like these are not even. This is not. You need to restructure this whole thing. This guitar sounds like shit. All of this needs to change. Like a couple little like foundational things that I really think could just wake up this track, get it lined up, get it clean, make it more dynamically interesting, you know, depending on how you introduce elements and position them. But you're just a solid, you're like a solid revision away from this being beautiful. It's a good song to start with. It's a good, catchy song. It's great structure, great formatting. Yeah, shout out to you, man. Shout out to Grady Finch. This is amazing. Shout out to your wife as well. Amazing vocals on her end. No, not only English. I would say once a live or every other live, we get artists and producers and vocalists, songwriters that are in different languages. I might not know the language, but we can still feel it. We can still understand the structure and the vibe of it, so on and so on. So if you still want to dig into the details of the quality of your music, I do not care what the language is. I don't care what, where you're from or what you're doing. We'll show love. We'll dig into the details. We'll offer you as much value as we have the capacity to. And get some reverb out votes on the outro. Should be there a delay. Yeah, I'm gonna hear the outro real quick. Yeah, you could just automate the feedback. Automate the feedback on your last filtered delay. It's like an H delay, right? Like just automate the do-do, that little do-do-do-do, that little last line right there. Just let that tail for 5, 6 seconds. Let it run into the last sentence right there. And then you're good to go. Should be good to go, man. Yeah, show some love. Show some love, show some love. Yeah, if anybody wants to submit, go to my profile, click on the link. Just check the line over on the Red app. Over on YT, the Red app. You can see it on that platform just by going to my profile. Y'all show some love to Grady Finch one more time. Jacob, hop in the chat. Jacob, hop in the chat. Let me know that you're here. I'm going to try. We're moving. Actually, we're moving at it. We're moving okay. We're moving okay. We're making it happen. Jacob's in the building. Let's run it. We're not messing around. This is written for an original motion picture soundtrack for an upcoming Western feature film. That's what I'm talking about. Written, recorded, and produced at my new studio that I built with my own blood, sweat, and tears. I love it. Iron Cross Records. Y'all show some love to Jacob. That's an undertaking. Is it a public studio? Is it like a public brick and mortar? Or like a home production studio space? Yes, dude. Let's go. Come on, dude. I absolutely love it. Love it. All right, this is Jacob. Let's dive in. Is this under? Oh, this is for Howlermouth. Okay, so this is still under your artist brand. And this is called Forgiveness. Let's get into it. Let me get it downloaded. Let's dive in. Joshua James, welcome into the stream. Appreciate y'all being here. Y'all make sure you're like tapping the screen. Share out the live with a few people. 7, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. This is Forgiveness by Howlermouth. If you haven't heard Howlermouth before, you're in for a treat. This is a very talented artist and musician and producer. So definitely show some love. Remind me really quick, people's situation changes over time too. Remind me all that. I know you were doing a lot of your, and especially like great video work and stuff like that. I do remember that. Talk to me about like the role exactly that you're playing in building out this track. And if you're collaborating in any way, let me know. All right. Forgiveness by Howlermouth, which is Jacob right here in the chat. Let's get it. Already love it. That's what I'm talking about.
When I was a young boy,
That's your vocal?
the devil knew me well. Made a deal with him in blood to go
Damn.
away some hell.
Come on.
I don't know what it's like to be whole. I don't know what it's like to be loved, but I know what it's
Beautiful.
like to feel pain.
What's 70? Outboard 76? I'm assuming.
And I know who I am all the same. I'm waiting for forgiveness.
What model? Is it a UAD? Lindell? Clark? Warm? Let me know.
To be whole.
Hell yeah.
I don't know.
It's next on my
What
list.
is
I'm
that?
gonna try to, sorry, I keep pausing, I'll back it up. I'm trying to sell a couple things here to upgrade my vocal chain's fine. This is a phenomenal microphone. I love it. It does a great job. My preamp's fine. It does the job. It does what I need it to do, but I'm trying to sell a couple things to update it. It's crazy. Hey, we get some crazy music in here. We get some crazy music in here for sure.
To be loved.
I don't really have too many thoughts on Leonard's.
But I know what it's like to feel pain. And I know
It's a lot of presence in this mix.
all the same.
It's thick. It's thick.
I'm waiting for forgiveness.
Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it.
I'm waiting for forgiveness.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for forgiveness.
This is great for film. It's great for film.
I'm waiting
Thank you for the follow, Dave. I appreciate it. Did you mix this as well? Thank you for the follow, Lucy.
Oh Lord, can you hear me?
Your voice is nuts on this, man.
I know it's been so long. When you see all of the things I've done, you're gonna know I did some
How much? How far along are you in? Is this final right now? How far along are you into this?
I don't know what it's like.
Dave, we're doing consultations for artists, producers, musicians, so on and so on.
I don't know what it's like to be
Yeah. Pre-master. Okay,
but I
gotcha.
know what it's like to feel pain.
Nice.
And I know who I am all the same. I'm waiting for forgiveness. 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 I'm waiting for forgiveness.
Let's go. You came to the right place. Hang out for a little bit.
Waiting for forgiveness.
This is beautiful, man.
I'm waiting for forgiveness.
I love when there's like predictable but like spontaneous stuff in there. It's like exactly what my brain wants to hear. Killer. Yeah, higher octave. Come on. Dave, go to my profile, click on the link, and just read through all the steps. Let's go. Y'all show some love to Howlermouth. It's Jacob right here in the chat. Show some love to Howlermouth. Amazing artist, producer, musician. Your vocals are so strong, man. Really well done. Let's run it from the top. We're going to get into some details here. What we do here today are 30-minute consultations, as it is a paid service. They're long-form consultations where we'll dive into whatever you think would best benefit you and serve you and help you with your process, creatively and practically. So whether that's mix, production, musicianship, stuff like that. But all of those details are at my profile. So you could go to my profile, click on the link, and just read through and follow all the steps there. But I would check the line first because I got time for like maybe 4 or 5 songs. 4 or 5 songs after this. So definitely check the line, the order, and the minimums over there so we can make sure that everything's in place. And we're not missing anything. Okay, let's run it from the top. Honestly, there's like one or two like little things that I'm looking for here that I want to dive into. So a couple quick details as we kind of get through the first part of the structure here. Format is amazing. The structure is fantastic. You're so good at what you do, man. So good at what you do. There's like a little mixed detail. Dave, thank you for the heartbeat. I appreciate it. There's like one mixed detail to me that's inflating some things in the mix. So I want to dig into that a little bit. Let's. This is Forgiveness by Howlermouth. Y'all show some love. This is amazing. Very well done. It's go to my profile, click on the link. Go to my profile, click on the link. Thank you for the heartbeat as well. I appreciate it. Go to my profile, click on the link, and just read through and follow all the details, and then check the line on the Red app. I want to make sure that y'all can see the line, the order, and the minimum, so y'all can make sure that you are in a place where you can actually submit there.
When I was a young boy, the devil knew me well. Made a deal with him in
I
blood.
love this like ultra wide, spacey depth that you have here early in this production structure too, man. It's really, really cool.
To go and raise some hell. I don't know what it's like to be whole.
Great depth.
I don't know what it's like to be loved. But I know what it's like to feel pain.
Yeah. I love it.
And I know who I am all the same. I'm waiting for forgiveness. I'm waiting for forgiveness.
What's happening on the left over here? Hold on. And also, just so y'all know too, the audio on TikTok is going to be different than what the actual recording is. If you want to hear uncompressed audio, go to the Red or Purple app so you can hear the whole thing. So I'll probably mention some things that you might not even be able to hear over on this platform in particular. So you can hop over to the other apps if you want to hear it a little bit cleaner. It'll give you a better idea of kind of what's going on. I gotta hear something happening here.
But I know what it's like to feel pain. And I know who I am all the same. I'm waiting for forgiveness. I'm waiting for forgiveness.
There's some, and it might be an effect that you have in there. It might be something that you're doing intentionally, some like shaping that's going on the left. I'm hearing some like gating and warbling and stuff that's like happening on the left side right here. It sounds like it's between like the acoustic guitar and maybe like a B3 organ or something like that. That's giving you'll hear some kind of like signal warbling over there, like some artifact introduced over there. Is that an instrument in there? Is that like an effect in there, or is that something happening in the mix?
All the same. I'm waiting for forgiveness. I'm waiting for forgiveness. I'm waiting.
It almost sounds like kind of the whole. It's a room noise snare drum. Okay. Like where the acoustic guitar is. I got you, Eytan. Yeah, I'll have it saved. I'm going to be on again tomorrow afternoon, Eytan. I'm going to be on again tomorrow afternoon. Oh, so that's what gets picked up oddly by the mic and the processing. So you might have something that's gating that room. Yeah, if we need to save one, I got you tomorrow. We'll be on tomorrow afternoon, or however you want to do it. I got you covered. Yeah, it's like something's gating in the back. Yeah, something's like gating it in the background right there. Here what I would do, and it doesn't matter that much, but what it's doing to me is it's robbing you a little bit of like some like steadiness in the mix, and just like some like just some openness and some steadiness in the mix right there. Because there's only a few. I mean, it's a solid bass. You have this the noise gate when recording the acoustic. That makes sense. So yeah, you're getting some like warbling and some cutting and some gating that's happening on the outside, and there's not a whole lot of other elements in the mix. You have like a heavy bass, thick, big, dynamic reverberated drums, and of course your vocal stacks. So one of the few things that's filling out your stereo field is cutting in and out of the mix and feeling a little bit unstable. I'm curious if it would be helpful to like dub something to kind of disguise that and cover it, whether that's just like a single clean guitar strum over that chord. Over the, I think it's a D minor, right? Like just one like strum of the acoustic that's ungated to just help glue it or something like that. Just because it does feel like a little bit like unstable back there. Just quick note. I don't think it's the biggest deal, but I do think it might be keeping this from like feeling like as like forward and vibrant and energetic as it potentially could, because everything that you're doing sounds good, but I think some of the processing is that it's like restricting that channel a little bit. Okay, let me hear a little bit more here, just if you feel like addressing it.
I'm waiting for forgiveness.
because that's being gated pretty strong. That's really the only thing filling out the stereo right there. Bound by Sanity. If you would like to submit, first go to the Red app, YT. You can find it at my profile to check the full stream. Check the line over there, the order, the minimum, stuff like that. And then just go to my profile, click on the link, and you can read through and follow all the details to submit right there. I appreciate you tapping in. Thanks for being here. All right.
I'm waiting for forgiveness. I'm waiting for forgiveness. I'm waiting for forgiveness.
Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Because yeah, once that guitar comes in, I want that to feel really powerful, right? And I would hate for your hook to be the most, climactically dynamic part of the song, and or most dynamically climactic part of the song backwards, and really give it some energy, and then some processing is like restricting it. It's holding it back. I would either like overdub or find some way through like an organ or through another strum of the acoustic to like keep that stereo field nice and full right there. Okay, let me just do one other quick detail that I'm just listening for here, and then of course it is completely up to you if you feel like addressing it, if you feel like digging into it at all. The only other thing that I feel like I'm picking up on is a lot of like low end inflation in the wider stereo image. Center channel feels pretty like pointed and bright and transient and pretty pretty rigid, right? Like it's in a good space. Like you're mainly like your kick and snare. You get a little snap from that kind of like whiplash snare that you have in there. Again, that you get a little bit of that stomp in there as well. I think that sounds great. So center channel sounds nice and clean. It sounds like a lot of bass elements, low end of the acoustic, a lot of your bass signal itself, maybe some pads. A lot of that feels like it's been inflated wide. I don't know if it's like mid-side or it's just like a Pultec that's been inflated a little bit. So the low end, like 200 hertz and below, feels really broad. And then also kind of pushed wide. I think the combination of those two things makes your wide stereo signal, like your not center channel, but stereo signal, feel a little muddy and a little boomy. And I'm missing a little bit of like, I like the fullness, but I'm missing a little bit of like the clarity between what's happening on. So it's like in tandem with some of that getting a little muddy and a little fuzzy here on the outside of the mix. In tandem with that, one of the few elements that is there on the outside is being gated, right? And restricted and pulled back. So the image feels a little foggy. It feels a little foggy in the stereo image. I would love to like get more of the bass back towards that center channel, let it punch through, let it hit you in the chest, get the balance of those guitars back a little bit, get them a little bit more prominent on the hook or a dub of it on the hook. Your vocal texture I think is great. I think it's one of my favorite parts about this song, but I do feel like there's some like inflation that's happening 200 hertz and below. It sounds kind of like a Pultec style curve, a little bit lower, that's inflated on the outside of the mix. And that's causing it to feel a little bit foggy and a little bit muddy. Added a bass boost in the EQ. I'm a sucker for some bass, but you're right. Yeah, the only thing is like just be very choice with where and how you do it, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Bass boost the shit out of it. I don't care. It just depends on like how and where and why you do it. If it's like on the master and it's just inflating a lot of that, like I said, 200 hertz below, 100 hertz and below, to create a lot of energy down there, but it's affecting the low end of the snare, the kick drum, the floor tom. It's affecting the reverbs that are on the vocal. It's affecting, your bass and your low pad. It's affecting the depth of the acoustic guitar because it's all inflated over there. Then that's everything starts to feel too wide and too boomy, and I just lose what's actually happening. I think if you could just like a couple dB back, rein it under control, or maybe address it specifically to a couple targeted instruments as opposed to just on the master, on buses and stuff like that. If you can target it a little bit better, I think it will probably give you a little bit more of what you're looking for. But just like right now, once you get into this hook, because of the gating and that inflation that we're talking about, I'm just like losing the acoustic riff again. And it's a great, this, these riffs that you have they're really powerful. They're really good riffs. They're kind of getting lost in the EQ curve though, since I think there's some umbrella bust EQ curves that are kind of covering multiple elements and inflating them a little bit. So personal opinion, I like the presence. I like the weight that it's offering the mix. At the same time, I'm completely losing the instrumentation in the background, and I would love to lock it in and dial that in a little bit better. Let me skip forward a little bit, but man, this whole structure is fantastic. I don't want to take away from that. The whole structure of this is amazing. It's really, really well done.
Where I am, all the same. I'm waiting for forgiveness. I'm
Sounds good, Eytan.
I'm waiting for forgiveness. I'm waiting for forgiveness. I'm waiting for forgiveness. I'm waiting for forgiveness.
Because I would love to just I mean, that vocal line's beautiful, so good. I love everything about like the gang vocals in the background. Great structure there. Like keep all that stuff like right where it is. It's vibrant, it's powerful. I like the reverb on it a lot. But like prioritize the instrumental hook as well. The with the the acoustic guitars. Those are beautiful. Those should be like prominent. That should be a secondary, really catchy element. Local church choir. Dude, it sounds so good. It sounds so good. Like that all of that stuff right there, I think is beautiful. Largely vocal production, I think is really good. It's clarifying. I think like, filtering a little bit and clarifying your production elements to just line them up a little bit more. And I think you're going to be absolutely gold. Audio is better here. It seems less vulnerable to, yeah, it's way better. It's way better over here. The quality, you're going to get less glitches and chops. It's the audio and visual is better over here. So if y'all feel like improving your experience, you definitely can. You definitely can. This would also sound great with like a B3 in the background too. Just a nice high, like hold on. 2 seconds. I'm not going to spend too much time here. I promise. But it needs like especially in this like B section right here. Where is it? Welcome back, Jenna. Hold on. Where's my B3? Let's see. Glitch is in the building. What's up, Glitch?
I'm waiting for forgiveness. I'm waiting for forgiveness.
Hold on. Hold on. What's up, Glitch? Good to see you. Haley, welcome in. I appreciate you tapping in. Yeah, the whole structure is great. Very, very, very clicky. There we go. Come on. Let's drive it. Bring it down a little bit. Do.
All the same. I'm waiting for forgiveness. I'm waiting for forgiveness. I'm waiting for forgiveness. I'm waiting for forgiveness.
Oh, I have an extra reverb on here. It's like, what's going on here? Bring that down.
I'm waiting for forgiveness. I'm waiting for forgiveness.
And then just like B section here. A little bit of that like rolling tone. Day, thank you for the roses. I appreciate it. Just giving it that like a little extra texture. It would be, it's fun. You don't have to do that. But I do like the way that it sounds. I think again, I think me wanting the organ in there, like a Hammond in there, like a B3 or something like that. The reason why I want it in there is just because I'm not getting the pop of some of the additional instrumentation, right? Like I think, like we said, like because some of those are gated, it's a little muddy over here. It's making me want to clarify the mids of this and have the acoustic guitar, an electric guitar, a B3 organ, something like that, with a bit more. Thank you for the pop day. I appreciate you. Get a little bit more prominence, a little bit more energy in the middle, because I'm kind of hearing that wall of low mids and lows kind of in the middle or in the outside of the mix right here, and then your vocal. and not a lot of connective tissue outside of reverb and outside of just boosted frequency. So I think that's why I think start with clarification. Start with just fine tuning the lows and mid lows to where it feels really clean. It feels distinct. I could hear every element that's in the mix. I could hear the acoustic guitar riff. The choir is wide and it's powerful. Your lead vocal cuts through like it already does. And then if once you clarify, you feel like it needs anything else. Thank you for the hat and mustache. I appreciate your generosity. Thank you so much. If you feel like it needs, once you clarify, if then you're like, I felt like it, I inflated it because I felt like I needed more, then you might clarify and feel like you need more and then just add that element. If you clarify everything, you can hear it distinctly. It feels clean. It feels polished. It feels really, really well established. And then you're like, oh, now it's missing something. Then just add the replacement. Add the strum of the electric guitar. Add the overdriven, Hammond B3, and to fill in the gap, right? Just in case it needs it. You might find that you're missing some production you've compensated for production sound design with inflated frequency. Maybe. Y'all show some love, man. Show some love to Jacob right here in the chat on TikTok. Amazing song, man. It feels so soulful. It feels so energetic. I love the dynamics. It's such a great feeling, such great presence to the production structure. I love everything that I'm hearing as far as what you have in the structure. And the whole idea behind what I'm saying is I want to hear it more. Like I want to hear it more. I love what the guitar's doing and it's being yanked back. I love what the vocals are doing and I want it to feel more vibrant. Like I love so much of what you have in the production structure. Y'all please show some love to Jacob and go check out Howlermouth. This is a Howlermouth track. Go check out Howlermouth. They have some amazing music out. They are very, very talented and they are beautiful. More singles coming. I'd love to hear it, man. They're amazing talent, and they also have a studio. Do you say you just opened it or you're about to? Recorded at your new studio. So it's your studio's open? Beautiful. Y'all go check out, let people know where it is. Let people know where you're at, where they could find it, what they could look up. But y'all show some love one more time. Eytan, let me know if you're here. I think you're over on the other app. Okay, let me see. I got this. All right, let's get it. Let me know if you have time for two. If you have time for two, we'll go back to back, Eytan. That's what I prefer to do. So Eytan, what we can do, depending on your time, is we'll listen to both back to back. And then usually, if we're talking about like mix details, we're talking about production details, usually it's the same issues, right? Like if your vocal's super bright or something, whatever it may be, right? It's usually the same for both tracks. So what we could go a little bit faster on these, Eytan, and we can go back to back. We can go back to back between them. That way we knock them both out, and then we'll just address both songs when we're talking about mix and production and stuff like that. Let me know if that sounds good. Southern Indiana, still setting up web platforms and commercial presence. Beautiful, dude. I love it. I love it. It would be fun someday to have. A brick and mortar. I mean, I have my production studio here just built out of this house, but and it does. I've got way too much shit here, but it does the job. But it would be fun to have a brick and mortar sometime. Just if I had just had extra money to play with. Because it can be hard to profit sometimes when you got a big lease. Okay, Eytan, we got it. We're gonna run them both. Whoops, I gotta undo that right there. Boom, ooh, ooh. Let me see. Hey, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you so much. It's so good to see Howlermouth back in the building. Y'all, like I said, y'all show some love. Make sure y'all are following. Okay, I'm gonna bring this back down to. So it's actually gonna be down to 2. All right, we got about 2 tracks left, y'all. About 2 tracks left. Let's get into it. We're gonna go back to back with Eytan right here. So I got the first one here. Let's go back to back. Let's get into it. This is Melted Dreams. Eytan, give me all of the details. Give me all of the details. Let me know what we're listening to. Let me know the structure. I've heard your music before, right? The name's super familiar. I see so many names, but I'm pretty sure I've heard Eytan before. But let me know if I haven't. Let me know if it's fresh. But let's get it. This is a Melted Dreams premix by Eytan. Let's get it going. Okay, perfect. That's what I thought. Remind me all that you did on this track as well. Stones, go check the line first over on the Red app. We're on our last like 2 songs. Eytan did everything beautiful. We're on our last like 2 songs. I got 2 songs after this back to back here, and then we're closing it up. So just check the line first over on the Red app, YT, and then go to my profile, click on the link, and all the details are there. I haven't heard that. Yeah, this is fresh. I haven't heard this before. Yeah, I'll be on tomorrow. I appreciate you tapping in. Eytan said they're looking for female vocals for both tracks. Beautiful. Let them know if you like what you hear. Definitely tap in with Eytan. They're over on the Red app right now, but they can tap back and forth if they need to. It's smooth, man. For the next, are you saying for the next one, Eytan? So just focus on this one, or let me know. I just want to clarify. Whatever you want to do. Love that piano. Hey, what's up, Matt? Welcome from the UK. Smooth, man. Let's go, Dan. Thank you for being here. Shout out to the UK. Ooh. Hey, thank you for the hat and mustache. I appreciate you. Thank you for tapping in. I appreciate your generosity. Hey, what's going on? Welcome in. Yo, show some love, show some love. That is Melted Dreams. Melted Dreams by Eytan Music Productions. Let's get into the details here, and then we'll get into our last 2 tracks. Eytan, just confirm with me really quick if you want me to hear the next one. Yeah, that's Dan. That's what we're listening to right now. These are 2 instrumentals from Eytan, and these are long form. Each of these breakdowns are like 30 minutes long, sometimes longer. I would say 20 to 30 minutes long, typically speaking. They're long form consultations. No trash or pass, no ratings, no polls, nothing like that. Long form breakdowns of the structure of music. So we'll get into mix, production structure, stuff like that. Okay, so we're gonna go back to back. So we're gonna get back into this here in a second. In this case, it's a back to back. So we're gonna listen to both songs first, then go back through and break them both down. If there's anything in particular, we need to open up a little bit here. Okay, so let's go into this second one here. And this one is First Move. Okay, so let's get into the second one. Thank you, Dan. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Let's dive in. Let's dive in. This is number 2. That way you can get both out today, and you don't have to wait for another live. Oh, this one already has a vocal on it? Or you're still waiting for another female vocal? And that might just be a sample. Hey. Crunchy saturation on the drums. Let's go. Let's go, let's go. Yeah, any language, any genre from a different song, I write. Oh, I love that, Eytan. I love that. That's beautiful. It's crunchy. Hey, no worries, Day. What are you trying to pay through? Let's go. Hey. Glenn, is this live? If you're talking about me, then yes, it is. If that's what you're talking about, then yes. Or if you're talking about something else, let me know. Hey, welcome in. I'll address some things here in a second. I love the background who's and ahs, man. I got you once I finish this song. Vibey, man. Y'all, show some love. Show some love. Both of those tracks that you just heard were from Eytan. They're in the chat right now over on the Red app, YT. So if you want to hop on over there, you can see them over on that platform. Show some of the Eytan. Beautiful time. We got Melted Dreams. We've got First Move. So we're going to dive into some of the structure here. We're going to break down some of the production elements. They have a desire to get a female vocalist on both of these songs. So if you are a female vocalist and the pop R&B soul R&B pop R&B and soul space, then you need to tap in with Eytan so y'all can collaborate, get some vocals on here, get some splits, some royalties, all that good stuff. Tap in with Eytan. You can find them over on the Red app, and they're occasionally over here on TikTok as well. Just really quick. Okay, so those of you that are asking about submissions, I have 2 tracks left after this one. I only have time for 2 more. That means there's 2 tracks left. So I have time for 2 more tracks because I can't do this all night. I've got to work on some other stuff. I've got to deal with some projects. I got to eat, sleep, drink, all that fun stuff. Unfortunately, you got to. So we got 2 tracks left tonight. Anybody, of course, who's still on the board after those 2 tracks will be saved. No questions asked. We'll be on again tomorrow as well. I'll just add you to the list and we'll get you up there. But I think everyone who's here, I think, should be heard so far. Okay, beautiful. Eytan, right here in the chat. If you like the music that you just heard, definitely tap in right there. So anybody that wants to get heard, you can still right now. It'll be in the afternoon. I just do this live stream. This is not this is not my main business. I work full time as an engineer, producer, and session musician. So I just do this after all of my projects. So I've got projects I've got to do in the morning. I've got let me see. Yeah, I've got another session I've got to do early afternoon. So it'll probably most likely be like mid to late afternoon tomorrow, and we'll be on for again another 2-3 hours, something like that. We'll open up the lines again. We'll get everybody back in here, and we'll run through another like 6 to 8 tracks. I don't do a whole lot of songs because I take so long, because we take 20-30 minutes per track. So yeah, it'll probably be I'm Central Time, so it'll be like early late afternoon tomorrow Central Time, and then we'll open it all back up. Got you, Dub. Got you. Okay, let's get into Eytan's. Yeah, of course. Let me update Dub here. Beautiful. Let's go. Shout out to 6 Dub. Got you. All right. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. All right, Eytan, let's dive into it. Let's run it from the top. I want to get into this one first because there's a couple little things that I want to dig into. Apollo, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. So let's run it from the top. Let's get into some of the production details here. But once again, if you're a female vocalist, if you're a songwriter, tap in with Eytan. They're looking for people on their productions currently. So reach out and make something cool happen. Day, thank you for the roses and thank you for the you're awesome. I appreciate you a lot. Let's dive in. Let's dive in. Let's dive in. I got you. I got you. No problem. Got you. Love all those, like that seventh. That seventh in the background, there's beautiful. Love the way that it floats. Love the way that it moves. And then who was it? Glenn. Sorry, Glenn. I missed that message. Glenn, you were asking. If you do want to submit, you would just have to. Let me just make sure this is updated because Dub moved up. So the minimums change as people submit so that I know I can get to the people that are still submitting recently. If you want to submit, just go to the link that's in the description for the live stream over on the Red app. If you want to see the details and stuff like that, this is the current line. I'm backwards on my screen on my camera. This is the line right here. So we have 2 tracks left. And since we already have 2 in the 15 right there, it would be 20 if you want to make sure that you're heard tonight if you're skipping in late. But I will close the lines probably after this song, after this batch of songs right here. Okay. There's a nice little bounce in the background too. This isn't like overly quantized too, which I really appreciate. There's a little bit of swing. There's a little bit of movement. You get a really natural like Rhodes pop in the background over the piano. That little snap in the background I think is really nice as well. Nice little pop. Some good dynamics too. One thing that I would say with these vocals, I mean, they're beautiful vocal samples. If you have, as it currently stands, if you're going to get a vocalist on there, those are like clean vocals. Those are like forward vocals. If they're going to be a vocal sample, you probably need to like filter them all out or set them a little bit further back in the mix. They're so loud and prominent that if there was a female vocal singing their own song, like their own pre-chorus right here going into like the actual chorus of the song, that vocal is so like loud of a main clean vocal that's going to interrupt whatever structure they have. So with the sampling in the background, I would probably process a little bit differently. I'd get it like back in the mix a little bit, maybe outside a little bit, maybe even if you want to like filter it, give it some vinyl texture, filter it a little bit, something like that. It's a beautiful, I love the sample so much, and I love that it's from another one of your records. That's amazing. But since it's so forward in the mix, that is acting as a lead vocal right there. So you just got to balance that with how you're going to put a lead vocal. I mean, I like them. I mean, what you could just do would just be to process it as a sample, and maybe you could even like format shift it up just a little, try format shifting it up, thinning it out a little bit, pull it back in the mix by, 4 or 5 dB or something. Just get it out of the way of some of your lead elements. That way there's actually space for a lead vocalist in this mix. Because right now with where those cut in, it just will interrupt any lead vocal. So I feel like I would just pull back a little bit and process slightly differently so that it's not stepping on the toes of a lead vocal there. I like what they're doing. I like when it happens. It's just probably a little bit prominent for a lead vocal to actually sit over there. Amos, I do not know Noah the guy. Not that I know of. Welcome in. Good to see you. Thank you for the follow. I really like your production elements. I think your sound design is great. One thing I would say is, at least on this particular production, it's a little bit with the other one as well, but it's like a little dry and mid forward. So everything, they feel, we were talking about this kind of the opposite a little bit before with one of the other artists kind of in the opposite sense. In this case, everything's very, very like clean and filtered and separate. So everything's kind of loud. And I talk about this all the time. A lot of engineers do, but like if everything's loud, nothing's loud. If everything's wide, nothing's wide. If everything's quiet, nothing's quiet. Contrast creates that distinction, right? And that separation. So in this case, I would pick and choose. Excuse me, goddammit. Megan, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I would pick and choose a little bit more your non-negotiables. Are you talking about San Antonio or South Africa? Let me know. I'm in San Antonio right now, so the SA is very familiar to me. But I would pick and choose what are kind of your non-negotiables, right? Whether it's like bass, Rhodes, piano, maybe, your percussion line and stuff like that, and make sure that that's clean and punchy and saturated and doing exactly what you want it to do. And then some of the non-negotiables that are, they add to the production, but you don't have to hear them incredibly prominently. Then I would pull those back by a couple dB, maybe position a little bit differently and try to glue this track together a little bit. Sometimes like right in here, like that Rhodes right there, which is, again, this is not to knock it in because I like everything that I'm hearing. Like I love all of this. But what I kind of want to feel, I kind of want that Rhodes with like a stereo core. I want it like back 2 or 3 dB with a stereo chorus and kind of get it outside. Get it to the outside of the mix just a little bit. Is it Jazzy? Thank you so much. Or is it Jazzy? JC, let me know. I want to make sure I say your name right. Thank you for tapping in today. Appreciate you being here. Or you could also get into some like mid-side processing to scoop some of the mids where the vocal will sit out of the center channel where the mono lead vocal is going to live and introduce some openness on the outside, right? But like take that Rhodes back and position out with, a chorus can really help with that. Like a stereo chorus can really help with that, especially on Rhodes. It's very classic. That's an easy way to kind of open up that structure a little bit. And then same with the piano. It's like kind of scooping some of the mid-forward nature of it where it makes it feel loud and prominent. Pull it back by like 3 or 4 dB, 2 or 3 dB, reduce some of the amplitude of that piano, soften some of the middle of it so it just feels connected again. And then make sure that you're doing some like strategic bus processing. I don't know if you are at all. I don't know if you're using any auxes or any buses right now. If you're not, I definitely would. I would definitely make sure to like send all of your keys and all of your synths over to like a synth bus and glue them together, right? With like very tasteful saturation and like a really light, like 2 dB broad compressor over on a curve over there on an aux. Then take all of your drums and send them to an aux. Take all of your bass elements, send them to an aux. Glue them together. Not enough of that? Okay, perfect. That to me, because part of what I'm hearing, right, is like I hear every element loud and distinct, and I want clarity. I do want distinction, but I don't want it to feel too dry and too forward. I want things to feel like they're under the same umbrella. They're really connected. They're really cohesive, right? So having bus processing is one way that you can put all of your elements under an umbrella of processing where those curves and that saturation and that compression is all affecting everything equally in that space. So I would definitely kind of start to glue some things together so that this doesn't feel too disconnected or too dry. It'll help everything feel really like smooth and controlled, which I think would definitely benefit this mix. Okay, let me push forward a little bit into the outro of the song. We'll go to your other record really quick. There's one little moment I'm going to listen for. Last moment on this song I want to listen for, and then we'll move to the other song really quick. It's one of these big elements in here. What I'm listening for is you have some really soulful and jazzy, like chromatic walks. Like you have these, right? Like these real, is that an octave up? Right? These really nice, like soulful movements where you're going into like the diminished and you're opening up to like a minor 2. And it feels really nice. Like a lot of the production that you have there is great, but I think your vocal sample is strict to the key. Right? So if your vocal sample is just, in this case, it's just straight to like in G major or something like that, but then you're doing some like chromatic walks and some diminished chords on a C sharp diminish, that's where you're going to get like a lot of tension between some of these elements because the vocal's a sample, so it's not going to like match the chromatic accidental that you have in there that's giving it all that soul and all that energy, right? So just make sure if you're going to sample over one of those chromatic walk-ups or walk-downs, make sure, thank you for the heart, Megan, I appreciate it. I might have missed that earlier, I'm sorry. Make sure that you affect the vocal to do it. So you might need to like go into Melodyne and like notch a note in there to make sure that it fits the chromatic walk of the production. Let me find where it is. It's really just like 1 or 2 moments in here, and then we'll move to the next one. I think it's in here. It's in those movements there. Yeah, some of these movements. It's like that's a nice high movement, but the chord progression doesn't match that like accidental. It's a great movement from the vocal. Like she's a great vocalist, but you could hear that like the chromatic movement doesn't match where that vocal leads to. So then the vocal, which like you said isn't tuned, feels out of place, and it feels like it's rubbing against the rest of the scale right there. So just make sure you either match chord to her scaling, or you need to tune her vocal and notch this down to semitone, or 50 cents right here to get it back in line with the rest of the progression. Because you hear how that feels out of tune with the rest of the scale. So address that vocal right there. There's a couple little parts where there's a little bit of tension, which I don't mind. Tension's not a bad thing. Just has to be strategic. It just has to be intentional and on purpose. Tension can be a phenomenal way to like build energy in a song, but in this case, it just sounds out of tune. And so just match that with the chromatic movements. Make sure your progressions make sense. If you do tune at all, then it makes sense with how you manually tune those vocals and that they match the same scale. That way they're in a line, they're pointed in the same direction. Okay, quickly, we're gonna jump to your other song. I don't have too much on this other one. This other one is really nice. So that's first move. Let's go to Melted Dreams. Let's chop through this really quickly and then we'll move on. We'll get into our last two tracks here. What's up, Joshua? Welcome in. I mean, this one's vibey, super like filtered out, low fidelity. I like it a lot. Ooh. Super vibey. We skip forward a little bit. Largely speaking, this one's really smooth. On this one, it's just going to be a matter of getting a vocalist on, making sure there's space for it, and then positioning accordingly. But this is really smooth. This is really, really well done. I'm going to listen for one little thing in the stereo image, but beyond that, I think most of your structure here is really clean. The thing I would just be careful of as you get a vocalist on here is just making sure that you have enough dynamic range, because this is very, I love everything about it, but it's very chill. It's very mellow. So we need to make sure that there's enough like separation and segmenting in here that there's a verse and a hook and a verse and a hook and a last, double hook at the end or whatever. There needs to be enough like separation of dynamics that it feels like the song goes somewhere. Because I think it's largely speaking the same progression, which is very contrasted, from the first song, the one that we just listened to. So just make sure you might want to find some moments to shift energy just a little bit, but what's here is good. It just doesn't have a lot of dynamic range or progression changes or anything like that. So just keep that in mind. Joshua, we're about to close up the lines. You can still submit technically, but it's going to be a little bit of a higher skip. Night Slasher's in the building. What's up, Night Slasher? Welcome in. We're getting into our last tracks here. So if you want to submit, you can. It's just going to be a little bit higher, but we'll also be live again tomorrow. Smooth. You get some of your dynamic range here. Like this is good. It is like the same progression again, which is not a bad thing. There's nothing. There's a lot of songs that have the same progression all the way through. But I would find some like really intricate, interesting ways to shift and mold some of your sound design here, so it doesn't feel like you just have the same 2/6 progression back and forth, and it feels like it's got some movement to it. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you for the roses. I appreciate it. Because you can hear how this only goes into like 4 measures, right? You get like 4 measures of this. Or maybe like 8 technically. It's like a half verse, right? And then you're back in this dynamic, and then you're in that dynamic for another minute. And so it feels like a lot of the same dynamic for the vast majority of the song with the same progression. So I think some small creative ways to shift energy, right? How you do that is up to you, of course, but some small creative ways to shift energy and to move some stuff around in order to create a little bit more dynamic range, even if you're going to, especially if you're going to keep the same progression all the way through. I want to make sure that you have some openness and some movement there that doesn't make it too monotonous. Is that a Neumann mic? Yes, it is. It's a Neumann M147 tube. I love it. I love it. I posted some videos on it yesterday. I love this microphone. It's like not a lot of people talk about it, especially for like the price. Not a lot of people talk about it. It's even though it's in the realm of a lot of other, you know, in the financial realm is a lot of other like really high end microphones, but not a lot of people talk about it. One of my favorite mics. And I have a video kind of talking about why, just, you know, from yesterday if you want to check it out. But thank you. Yeah, I love this mic. It's one of my favorites. It's a really, really, really nice mic. I appreciate you tapping in. Thanks for being here. This also would, I mean, you know, side note to this, Eytan, is like this would also just do well as a lo-fi track. You know what I mean? Like you could get a vocalist on here and they could do their thing even without the dynamic range that we're talking about. This also just does what's up, Joey? This also just does well as a standalone, like low fidelity, chill track. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. I'm gonna get into this last section, but yeah, this one for me is just, I think we can get, I don't know how long you've been here, but it is this, they had two songs. So you might've heard a different one, but if you heard this one before, it might be the same one. I don't know. Everyone says, yeah, like you technically could put out some like lo-fi albums and some playlists on YouTube and stuff like that, and you do really well. A lot of those things get a shit ton of views. They get a lot of exposure. Let's see. I don't take any guests up on the live, but I appreciate you requesting. Okay, let me dig into this last little section here. Especially this being like a last hook, right? Especially this being like, if there's a vocal on here, eat some like light old like motif. I just got another synth back here. You can't see it. It's like a motif engine, old like a old Yamaha motif engine, which I love. It's got like 1,000 sounds. It's a cool like 90s synth. But it's what I really like about it is it has like great sampled brass. Like sometimes in the background of something like this, you just need to get some like sampled brass and like filter it down to give you that one little edge, right? Like that one little step up of energy, just to like glue some of your progressions together. And that'd be one way that on a track like this, you create a little bit more dynamic range. The vocal will help obviously with more dynamic range, but I also think it could be helpful to like take your verses and like A section of your hook, and then a B section of your hook, you just add one little brass layer that's kind of filtered out, fills out your stereo field a little bit. This song is fairly mono in its profile. Like a lot of what I'm hearing here is kind of coming at you right down the middle. There's some stereo information. It exists there, but most of this is kind of right here, you know, not just mono, but a little bit outside of mono. It would be nice to have one or two elements. Vocal layers will help if and when that happens, but one or two elements, a little DX7 kind of, you know, especially a little high DX7, you know, little high bell tones and stuff like that, that give it some energy, give it some openness at the top end. Mike, thank you for the follow. So like DX7, like I have a DX21 back here, stuff like that, that gives you a really nice edge and shimmer over the top end that I think could help with tracks like this. So that in particular, or that in addition to maybe even like a really like filtered brass layer that gives you, again, a little bit more fullness, a little bit more dynamic range, and even more specifically though, a little bit more openness in your stereo field. Because the production itself is really nice. It's smooth, it's easy, it's chill as hell. I like it a lot. Y'all show some love to Eytan. Eytan, I appreciate you so much. Show some love, show some love. You're great at what you do, man. Yeah, no, you're right on time. you're right on time. Show some love to Eytan. You're amazing at what you do. Just a very talented musician, man. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep chipping away at it. You got a great head on your shoulders and super, super talented. So y'all give it up one more time for Eytan. Follow here. Follow over on the Red app as well. YT over on the Red app. Show some love. Moss, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Smooth AF. I was gonna say you're so true. You're so true. You are correct. Very, very chill, smooth as hell. I mean, yeah, like that's why I want to hear like a solo trumpet, like a filtered solo trumpet in the background, or even like a saxophone. Like this to me is like, it's like 80s lo-fi. You know what I mean? I want to hear like a sampled trumpet filtered out in the background, or like a really reverberated, sexy saxophone. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to hear some of that, like 80s call music, you know, in the background. That's what I'm looking for. Because the you know, the rest of the production structure is there. Okay, let's get into these last few tracks. Actually, give me Give me just a moment. Just a moment. Ooh. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, 6 dub. Let me know if you're in the building. I'm gonna go because I gotta cook right after this. So we got 2 more tracks. 2 more tracks, y'all. I believe Rick's. Let me know. I think Rick's had to head out. Pretty sure. I'm just gonna do a quick little call. Rick's, let me know if you're in the building. All right, I don't see Rick, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna move Rick's down here. 6 is in the building. Okay, I think this is gonna be. I'm gonna go ahead and close up the line, y'all. So the line, y'all can still move around if you want to. Just whoever's on the board, you can still move around. But I am gonna go ahead and close the line. 6 is in the building. I see you. Beautiful. I'm gonna close the line to new submissions. Y'all can still follow. You can still tap in for next time. But we'll be officially closed to new submissions. So I'm gonna go and close it up over here. I think Dub and Morbid, y'all are gonna close me out. Boom. All right, line is updated on the Red and Purple app. We're closed over here, so nobody should submit. All right, let's get into it. If you do submit on accident, if you just don't, read it or anything like that, I'm just gonna save you for tomorrow's live. All right, 6, let's get into it. Last 2 tracks, y'all. I'm gonna move at a good pace. Give me a second. I'm gonna go, Lewis, welcome in. I'm gonna go turn on the oven, get some stuff, ready here. Or I could probably do it after this next track. I'll do it after this next track, just so it's not on for too long. And then we'll, I gotta get some stuff ready. I don't even know what I'm cooking. I think I'm making, what am I making? I don't know. What am I cooking tonight? All right, let's get into it. We've got, let's see, where is 6? Maybe it's in spam. Let's see. Yeah. Is it under a different name? 6. What's the email? What's the name on the email? Because I'm not seeing the name, but it could be under something else. Beautiful. Okay, got you. That's what I wanted to make sure. All right, this is 6 dub in the building. Let's dive in. This is a song that an artist that I manage is working on. Wasn't made to follow the crowd. We're about done with the mix. Going to add some ad-libs, and that's about it. Then it's on to the mastering stage with Love Opinions. All right, let's get into it. So was this all done? You just managed them, right? This is all done by the artist. Let's get it downloaded. Let's dive in. Let's dive in. We're almost there. And just a quick reminder, y'all, make sure that you're following on the Red and Purple app. Subscribe to all the good stuff. Unsighted in the building. What's up, Unsighted? What's up? Let me know. And then real quick, let me see. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, and make sure that y'all are following on TikTok, of course, and we'll be live again tomorrow, especially for those of you who. Okay, cool. I got you. Yeah, whenever we come to your track, Morbid, we'll go through some of those details and make sure that everything's lined up and that I have whatever information you want me to have. Okay. Lun Ray made the beat. Her engineer Steve mixed the vocals. Yes, I helped A&R all of this. Okay, beautiful. Let's get it. All right, this wasn't made to follow the crowd by Lun Ray. Is it Lun Ray or is it Luna Ray with the typo? Let me know.
Don't you think it's all becoming repetitive? Tired of the compromising just to live. Stay aligned with what the world thinks. Never asking where we're going. Running circles just to run them.
Good voice.
Shake me or break me, but they cannot make
Ferrer, welcome in. How you doing today?
Wasn't made to follow the crowd. It just watches the world burn down. I was made to stand out.
Nice layers, good positioning.
Call me crazy, but I'm no NPC. Wasn't made to follow the crowd.
Nice.
I hear the Savior's call, rising above it all. Ask what you will of me, and I will follow.
Yeah, she's got a good voice.
Send me out to the lost and lonely. Send me out to feed the hungry. Show me more of what the world needs, all for your glory. Shake me or break me, but they cannot make me. Nothing can keep me from turning around. Wasn't made to fall.
Can definitely work on the transition to that hook right there.
Just watches the world burns down. I was made to stand out. I don't care what they're thinking now. Call me crazy, but I'm no NPC. Wasn't made to follow the crowd. Wasn't made to follow the crowd. It just watches the world burns down. I was made to stand out. I don't care what they're thinking now. Call me crazy, but I'm no NPC. Wasn't made to follow the crowd.
Nice. Nice little automation on the formant there. Y'all show some up. Show some up. That's Lun Ray. I'm saying that correctly, right? Lun Ray. She made the beat. Steve mixed the vocals. And they're still they've held off on mastering so far. Let's get into it, man. Let's get it. Then they're gonna add some ad libs. We're about done with the mix. Going to add some ad libs, and that's about it. Okay, cool. Let's get into some of the structure. There's a couple quick things. I think we can move through this at a good pace. A couple production elements, some transitions in here on the production that decrease in amplitude and energy. So I want to make sure that that doesn't happen going into the hook, so it doesn't lose any steam or energy. And then a couple little vocal mixing things, and then we can move on. But let's start it from the top. We're Not Made to Follow the Crowd, or Wasn't Made to Follow the Crowd, by Lun Ray. Let's dive in. Shout out to Six for sending this in. Shout out to Six for sending this in. Okay, let me double check something real quick. Okay, give me a second. I gotta get the oven on, if you don't mind, Six. Give me just 2 seconds. I'm gonna go turn the oven on and get some things started because I gotta be cooking dinner here in just a minute. So give me 2 seconds and we'll run it straight into this. I'll be back in 20 seconds and then we'll run it. Okay, so I'm gonna be moving back and forth, y'all, because I gotta get like dinner in the oven and some things worked out. Oh, okay. Oh wait, no. Luna Ray is a producer. Alana's the artist. Okay, I don't know if I saw the Alana name. That's why I was confused. Okay. Alana is the artist. Steve did the mixing. Okay, beautiful. Let's dive into it. Let's run from the top. I gotta move at a good pace, and then Morbid, you're gonna close us out. But after I finish this song, I gotta go put something in the oven, and then I'll come back. We'll finish the last song, so on and so on. And then we'll be once again, y'all. We'll be on again tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon. Come in. Tomorrow afternoon. So if you have more music you want consultations on to get broken down, revisions, anything like that, we'll open up the lines again tomorrow afternoon. Also, quick reminder that all of these VODs, the entire live stream is saved to YouTube. So if you want to see your breakdown, you want to re-referencing, you want to send a clip of it to your engineer or the artist you're working with, whatever it is, you can easily do that from the VODs as well. I'll save it after the live. How's the headphones, by the way? Are they worth the price? They are for me. It might not be for anyone else. These are about $1,500. They're crazy headphones. They're the best sounding headphones in the world. I think they're absolutely phenomenal. I use them to mix and produce with every single day. They're phenomenal. They're niche though. So like they're really high clarity, like high openness, high vibrancy, open back headphones, right? I've had them for a couple years, probably 2 or 3 years. I love them so much. But you know, they're obviously a crazy price, but I use them constantly. I use them all the time, and I make money with them, right? I think like for most people, unless you just have like money to blow to get some extra headphones, then that's cool. Like that's awesome. But if you're not making money with open back headphones, then I wouldn't get them. Especially if you're tracking a lot, I wouldn't get these, right? And I do track a lot, but when I'm tracking, I use either my Sennheiser HD280s or I use my Beyerdynamic DT770s. If I'm like tracking live drums or I'm tracking vocals and stuff like that, I'll usually lock them in. I'll usually lock those in pretty quick. But anyways, yeah, I love them. Yes. So yeah, they're phenomenal. If you ever just get a chance to listen with them, they're crazy. They're clear MGs. They're phenomenal. Helios is in the building. What's up, Helios? Dude, good to see you. Just sounds closer dropped in. Yeah, I'll have to do it tomorrow. I only got time I have one more song after this. And even that one's a stretch. So yeah, I'll have to save it for tomorrow if you don't mind. Let me get you on the board though, Helios. Dude, it's so good to see you, man. I hope you're doing all right. Let me get you on there so you're there, so I can just throw you back up on the list when you come in tomorrow. And you should be good to go. I appreciate you tapping in, man. Good to see you. Okay, let's keep this going. I gotta move quick. Yeah, of course. But yeah, I've had these for like 3 or 4 years. 3 years maybe. So immediately right off the back, we have a high bias towards high frequency. So getting into some of the vocal engineering here, really big bias towards the high frequency, right? So 10K in order to get air and stuff like that. 10K is inflated by probably 5-6 dBs. Very, very bright. It's very, very open. So 9K, 10K plus is up by, probably 3 or 4 dB too high. And then it's also been thinned out a little bit. So it sounds like between 100 and 300 hertz, that's been dipped down by several dB. So what you end up with is a vocal that's kind of harsh, bright, and brittle, airy. Yes, you're getting one of the things that we want. It's airy, but it's also kind of bright and brittle, a little bit harsh to listen to. An increase in sibilance and texture at the top. Did you not see it over on was it blocking you on the other platform, Helios? Echo Flux, thank you so much for the follow over on Twitch. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah. I got you. I responded to you over there, but I don't know maybe it didn't come through. But yeah, I got you. Yeah, I only have time for one more, and then I gotta head out, and then I'll open up. I'll be on tomorrow afternoon. For sure. I already got you on the board, so I can save you there. Okay. Okay, so the vocal's already very, very bright. Thank you so much. I appreciate you tapping in over on the Purple app. So you get this very bright, high profile, high frequency vocal, right? So it's airy, yes, but it's a little bit harsh and it's a little bit abrasive. And then it's thinned out. So like I said, 100 to 300 hertz, it seems like that's dipped down pretty far, maybe high passed a little bit too far as well. What I would do is just warm up this vocal. It's a cool production. It's a cool production structure, and this is a good vocal. It's a nice sounding vocal, good tone. But you can hear so much of the energy shifted to the high end. So it ends up sounding thin on the low cut right there. And then the low mids being pulled out and then the boost in the high. What I would do, just based on what I'm hearing here in this vocal, just soften the high push. If you're up 6 dB at 10K to get air, just drop that down. drop that down to like a 3 dB push, right? Like enough to introduce some of that high frequency excitement that you're looking for without it sounding brittle and harsh and abrasive to listen to. On the low part, love to the sun. Oh, I was like, wait, hold on. I was like, yeah, love to the sun father. I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good, Healy. Besides my allergies clogging up my face, I'm doing all right. High pass, at the high pass, I would probably go a max of like 90 dBs. 90 dB at your high pass. Allow a lot more of that low end and some of that presence and some of that color and character back into the vocal so it doesn't sound thin. It doesn't sound shrill or tinny at all. Because she does have a good voice, but it just sounds too bright and too thin. I want to rebalance that so the vocal feels warm and inviting to listen to. Still bright and airy. We still want that. We still want that top end to feel open, but just not harsh or abrasive. And then in tandem to that, just add a de-esser, past probably like one of your first, wherever you have a really bright push, probably follow that by a de-esser. So you have a really bright push. You want to open up the top end at 10,000 hertz a little bit, just a hair, like we said, bring it down. And then underneath that, you might want to just soften like 5,500 hertz with a de-esser to pull back some of that sibilance, right? The harshness and the S's and T's and stuff like that. Little things like that. But that to me it's an initial structure so that the vocal sounds warmer. It sounds a little bit more vibrant, has a little more presence to it, as opposed to it being kind of all filtered up and overly bright at the top end.
The compromising just to live. Stay aligned with what the world thinks. Never asking where we're going. Running circles just to run. And when will it?
Background vocals are nice too. Like I don't mind the space and the air on the background vocals. They're a little overly inflated too, probably a little bit just like overly airy, a little bit thin. So you don't really like feel any of the vocals. I hear them and they sound like good vocals. Like I hear them, but I don't feel them because there's no mid or low information in it, like low frequency information in it. So same with the background vocals. I like hear this shimmer come into the mix, but I don't really feel anything happening because there's just no low end information. So I would just reintroduce some warmth and some energy a little bit lower into this mix on all of the vocals. Tastefully, you don't want it muddy, you don't want it boomy, but just reintroduce a little bit more low end information and mid information so it doesn't feel too thin. Oh, you're good, Helios. No worries at all, man. I got you. You're already up there, so you're good to go tomorrow.
Break me, but they cannot make me. Nothing can keep me from turning around. Wasn't made to.
So right in here, I think on the production, now the vocal side for sure, I like the harmonies. We already addressed those vocals need to be shifted, right? The vocals need to be shifted to have a little more weight, a little bit more power behind them on the vocal production, the vocal processing. On the production side, I feel like we need a shift in energy. The middle of the mix needs to wake up. The middle of the mix, you kind of get this, you get a break in energy, and my anticipation is saying that I want this to drop after here, right? It's a shh, and it drops, and then it hits the next part. The next part of the dynamic doesn't feel really impactful on the production side. The beat itself is fine, like the beat itself is cool. It's pretty standard. Like it's not a bad beat at all. There's nothing wrong with it. But just the transition energy there, the vocal shift will help, right? Regaining some of that life will help. But on the production side, I feel like we need new information, not just kind of like back into the same sort of a beat or production without any like new information. We need like another like saw stack of synths in the middle of the mix. We need a nice like modulated pad that fills out a little bit there. Some like Juno melodies to kind of fill it out. Like we need a little bit more energy in the middle of the mix. Otherwise, it just feels kind of like the same as a verse with like a slightly different melody. And I would love for the dynamics to push a little bit more. Let me back it up here.
Me or break me, but they cannot make me. Nothing can keep me from turning around. Wasn't made to fall a crack.
So here's what's happening. This is actually RKJI. Welcome in. I appreciate you being here. One of the things that's happening in the production structure, this is actually probably the main thing that's happening. You have two different basses, right? You have a pulsing synth bass that fills out the energy that's on like 16th notes on your pre-chorus, right? Do do do, and this is in D sharp minor, I think. Do 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 do. that's like, you hear this like pulsing fat synth bass that's happening on your pre-chorus. That is really like, it's really dynamic. For one, it's plucked, it's a short decay. So you have this like power and this buildup and this anticipation. And it's also stereo. It has a chorus on it. So it's stereo. So it feels really, or it sounds like it. It feels really open. So you get this width and this openness that's pulsing in these low subharmonics down here, right? That has a lot of great energy to it. And then that energy of that short decay and that pluck and that pulse, that gets shrunk down to mono when the sub bass or the 808s come in, going into the chorus. So you'll hear it here. Do, 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 do. That's wide, that's chorused. And then that kind of shrinks back down to mono in a little bit for those 808s, and feels even like a little bit quieter, right? So we need to make sure that going into this chorus that there's still big stereo information. If we lose this low end stereo information, the beat's gonna feel smaller going into the chorus, just because it doesn't have the same stereo information in the field, right? And it doesn't have the same weight anymore. The 808's fine. Like, again, most of the production, like I have no problem with. It's doing what it's supposed to do. But I would recommend having like a Juno, kind of a plucky Juno, kind of. Something that kind of sits in the middle of the mix to kind of fill out maybe a little. Something that just kind of fits in the middle right there to fill in some of the gaps so it doesn't feel like the middle of the mix kind of empties out once that stereo image drops. Because now all you're getting is the pad, the 808s and the drums. There's not a lot of any other information. Finally able to record myself starting to. Let's go, Westfall. Let's go, dude. I'm so excited. She wanted less synths in the beat. You know, and here's one of those lines where it's like the artist gets what the artist wants, but at the end of the day, you have to find a balance between relying on the professionals and the professionals being like, yeah, we can do that, but you're losing energy. So it's like, all of the things can be true. The vocalist cannot want, and it also could just be that they don't want that particular synth, right? They just might not want the way that it was done, the way that it was introduced into the beat was like noisy and too busy, and it didn't fit into the structure, right? There might be another way of doing it that still fills it out a little bit, that feels maybe a little bit more tasteful, feels a little bit more dynamic, right? So I feel like that's kind of what you have to come to is like, okay, maybe they don't want that synth in the beat, but the fact is that you're losing steam and the song will become monotonous. It will, like over the long term, it will just start to feel monotonous and like there's not a whole lot of energy going on. And so we just need to find a way to beef up this chorus a little bit. There needs to be more information. There needs to be a little bit more weight to the production in order for it to feel like you are increasing energy and increasing, perceived loudness going into the hook here. What's up? Is it Trace? Trace, thank you for tapping in. I appreciate you being here. Okay, let me move a little farther into this. The guitar helps. The guitar helps a bit. But like, listen to this production right here. Now listen to the verse. You hear how all of that sounds. That's chopping between a verse and a hook, right? So going between the verse and the hook, the production sounds exactly the same. The only difference is vocal layers on the hook and the guitar that comes in. Yeah, fair. She originally recorded the vocals on a YouTube beat and then we made a new beat around them. Okay, nice. Yeah, everything I'm talking about is largely EQ and vocal processing. So that can also, yeah, the guitar is great. I love the guitar. That sounds fantastic. But you could hear when I chop between all of these different elements, when I chop between verse, when I chop between hook and post hook, the production sounds exactly the same. Only difference is guitar and the way she changes her melody and vocal layers. So I feel like we need something in the middle. It doesn't have to be a do 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 do. It doesn't have to be like a busy arpeggiator or a sequence on the synths. We just need something to fill in, right? We just need something to fill in that middle of the mix that's nice and stereo and open so that it feels engaging. It feels vibrant. It still feels like you are maintaining your stereo image coming from the pre. Otherwise, it will feel small moving to the mono bass. Angus in the building. Thank you so much for the follow. The line is closed for today, but we will be live again tomorrow. So tap in tomorrow. We'll open up the lines again tomorrow afternoon Central Time. Exact time varies because I got to work on some other sessions. But yeah, tomorrow afternoon we'll be live again and we'll open up the lines. I appreciate you tapping in. Thanks for being here. That was your idea. Beautiful. Yeah, the guitar is great. Guitar is awesome. I think that's a great addition. I think once we have, like, the way that I'm imagining this is like, this is a good song and she's a good vocalist. These layers are nice. The beat itself is fine. There's all these elements that work, that all, work pretty cohesively. But you don't feel a lot of these, sounds good, Morbid, welcome over to the dark side. But you don't feel a lot of the additional production, right? So what I'm imagining is, like, if this song had weight to the vocals, it wasn't overly bright, but it was warm and it had a lot of weight to it and it was really dynamic. In addition to a little bit more of a hefty production structure to the hook, some warmth in the middle of the mix, I feel like this would be worlds different.
Since the world burns down, I was made to stand out. I don't care what they're thinking now. Call me crazy.
Even here, right?
Wasn't made to follow the crowd.
Even just having like a soft piano in there, right? The warmth that brings, the way that it fills out the mids and low mids is what you need. It doesn't have to be a piano like this, but even just filling out these low mids, it gives it so much more character that the song definitely needs, right? So that's why I'm saying it doesn't have to be like what I was playing before. It doesn't have to be all that shit. It can be pretty simplistic. It can be, pretty soft. It can be in the background. It just needs to be, low mid forward. It needs to be warm. It needs to have some like reverb and chorus on it and some modulation. So that back end, right? So like the middle of the mix, as far as frequency goes in the stereo field, feels open, feels really vibrant. MLs, welcome in. Thank you for tapping in. Double Brown, thank you so much for tapping in as well. We're closed today, but we'll open up the lines again tomorrow. So just definitely make sure that y'all are following. We'll open things up again tomorrow afternoon. Y'all show some love to 6 Dub Heisenberg. I appreciate you. I appreciate you tapping in. Thank you so much for the heart, ML. I appreciate you a lot. But yeah, so y'all show some love. That is 6 Dub. Definitely a great structure here. Tons of potential. You have a lot of great movement. We just need to work on warming up and filling out the remainder of the mix, and then definitely reprocessing vocals. It's a good vocal. It's a good song, but it definitely needs some warmth, right? It needs to be a less exaggerated curve, and I think you'll be in a good spot. Y'all show some love. Okay, I need y'all to give me like 5 minutes. I got to go get some stuff in the oven, and then Morbid, we're going to close up with you. So Morbid, just make sure that you are in the chat. You're hanging out for a little bit. Hang out for just a little bit. I got to go chop something, toss it in the oven, and then we'll be back to finish up the last track of the day. Does that sound all right? Sounds all right. And then Morbid, I think you're over here. Beautiful. I mean, it's the same camera for all of this, but okay. Give me 5 minutes, and then we'll close up the last song. I appreciate y'all so much. The music's been great today. I really appreciate all of y'all hanging out today. It's been nice. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna run and get some stuff in the oven, and then I'll be right back for Morbid's last track. Just once again, make sure y'all are following on all the different platforms. Subscribed on YouTube, Twitch. Make sure that you're following over on TikTok, all that good stuff, and we'll close it out here in just a little bit. All right, I'll be back in a sec.
Show me the way to go. I've never been down this road. Whiplash, you broke my neck. I'll act like I always knew we'd fall apart, while your next words stole my heart. Some days that feel like the rainless nights. I crave the morning, but now I know that I'm better off on my own. What more can I say? We push back the heartache to make it. You walked in, your smile fades, and now I 17, stuck in a corner. 7 weeks, marching in order. Solitude, louder than jet planes. All it took for me to be sane. Lucky draw got me this headspace. Fucking flaws marking the airwaves. Somebody said I could be anything. My body shakes, don't say the same thing. Caught in a daydream, escaping, no one can blame me. Born to run, but can't find my footing. Shed a tear while no one's looking.
All right. All right, it's let's close it out, y'all. Let's close it out. Morbid's in the building. Morbid, just drop in the chat just so I know you're here really quick. And let's close it out with this last record right here. Morbid, I believe that it is my first time hearing you, so give me all of the details. Let me pull up the track really quick, and let me see. 1 second here. Beautiful. We got the YouTube. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna watch the video here, but if there's Miranda, welcome back. Good to see you. If there is anything else you want me to know contextually, as far as what I'm listening to, your role in it, all that. Give me. I love context. I love details. Hopefully, as you've seen over the live. But let me pull this up here.
Lights stay on a little longer now.
And it's AI.
Like they learned
Cool's in
how
it.
to
Whoa, hold
whisper.
on. Cool is in the bed. Hey, what's up, Cool? Dude, for one, thank you for the 100 roses, man. Cool, I hope you're doing phenomenal, man. I hope you're doing fantastic. It is so good to see that name pop up. It's so good to see that name. Dude, I hope you're doing fantastic. Shoot me a DM, man. Dude, thank you for tapping in. Thank you for the love. I appreciate it. And then just got it, dude. Congratulations, man. Congratulations. Cool just got engaged. Amazing, man. Wishing you nothing but light and love. You know the deal. You know your family. It's so good to see that name pop up, man. So good to see that name pop up, man. That's amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Shout out to Cool Ray. That's the family right there. That's a phenomenal person, first and foremost, but also a great artist as well. Shout out to Cool. Okay. Morbid said, I started doing this so I could become a partner for a game I love to play. Beautiful. Okay. Love it. Originally, I used AI to do the vocals, and I just wrote the lyrics, but this is my second song where I actually recorded my vocals. It's about winter and the in-game event. Okay. Wait, so these are your vocals on the song?
The lights stay on a little longer now, like they learned how to whisper. Footsteps fade into the snow. Every sound getting thinner. The year's been heavy in my hands. I carried more than I planned. Even time forgets its plans. When the cold comes down, nothing's rushing me tonight. Nothing needs a name. When snowflakes fall, the world slows down. Every worry loses sound. No big promises, no wrong.
Hold on. Hold up. I'm gonna back it up a little bit.
Every worry loses sound. No big promises, no wrong or right. Just being here feels enough tonight. Windows warm against the cold. Stories written in the snow. Every road feels close to home. Every piece falls in place. All the weight I couldn't say.
Are you using AI to adjust it? So here's what I'm hearing, and then you can explain however you want to, right? I'm hearing what's called aliasing, and aliasing, largely in the format of what I'm hearing here is the inability to process high frequencies. So you get all this artifact, you get all this fuzz, hiss at the top of the mix, as you have this kind of overexcitement of high end frequencies that have been generated. That's what I'm hearing on the vocal itself, and that's typical of AI. It's not impossible with other stuff, but this is very typical of AI. Are you, even if it was your vocal, because there's some dynamic shifts that aren't as typical of AI, like some, proximity changes, it seems like I can kind of pick up on that aren't as typical of AI. But the vocals themselves, no, on the lead, I'm talking about the lead vocals. The backup vocals are AI. Okay. Manifest is in the building, but what about the lead? Just like the lead itself. Because I'm just talking about the lead. The lead was the lead vocal, even if you recorded it? Because I know people that they play guitar, they're actually guitarists, but then they run their guitar through Suno to create a better sounding part or whatever. Did you do that with the lead vocals? Did you run it through even if it was you singing, did you run it through AI to get it mixed better kind of or something like that? Yeah, that's what I'm hearing then. It really degrades the quality, unfortunately. It really completely changes the quality. Again, you get all this artifact, you get all of this, the aliasing that I'm talking about, and this is typical of every AI vocal, or most of them. Some have gotten better, depending on how you prompt, but most of that high lead right there, that's where all that hiss and aliasing and inability to process high frequencies is happening. So that's why the vocal kind of sounds like it's like recorded with some distortion on it. That's what's happening. So I don't know what the I would say so. I would just, if I know you're using it, I think like you said, to generate some of the production and stuff too, I would not, if you have your lead vocal that you ran through that, I would just process that in DAW. Just process that in. As soon as you run it through AI, it is going to basically take that vocal away and recreate what it thinks is your vocal from scratch. You know what I mean? So you're going to get this digital emulation, this over-processed digital, fuzzy, gritty, poppy emulation of your vocal. It's like a clone of your vocal processed through Suno or something like that. It's not even gonna really necessarily feel like your voice anymore, even though you're still getting some of the original proximity. I can hear you shifting proximity in the mic. I can hear some of these little things that are happening there, but the processing feels overblown, right? So you can hear this at the top.
When snow is Nothing's pulling me ahead.
where it almost sounds like metallic a little bit, a little fuzzy, a little bit metallic. That's the artifact that we're talking about with AI, right? So what I would prefer, and not everybody has this capacity, it's just what I would prefer, is fine generating what you're generating, right, with the production. On the vocal side, since you are still singing into it, just get that process on its own. Get the vocal handled by either yourself chipping away at vocal engineering in BandLab or something like that, and get that processed in a way that's a lot cleaner. Because it's one of those immediate, like, as soon as I heard it, I didn't remember if you had said it. And again, I don't really care with the AI stuff. You know, there's some parts of it that I do, some that I just want people to create. But when it comes to it was like the first thing that I heard. So that's why I brought it up, because couldn't remember if you said anything about AI. It was as soon as I heard the guitar and then your vocal come in, I was like, oh, this is AI. Like, you can immediately tell. There's a really dramatic change in like quality and change in how that vocal feels in the mix. And so you can just tell, right? And that's not what we, obviously I don't think that's the goal. And because it's for my content, but I want to improve some. But yeah, I just think that it's less like, because I like these visuals and stuff that you're doing too. Like, you have a lot of cool things going on. So don't get me wrong. You have a lot of cool things going wrong, but I think there will be like an immediate pushback a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, there's a little bit of a pushback immediately when you hear the like obvious, musicians who've used it can tell me, and I've never even used it before. I listen to so much music on both sides. Yeah, it's definitely getting better. It really comes down to how you prompt. It really comes down to a lot of different factors. But yeah, I've never used it before. But I listen to thousands of songs a year that are some of them now, of course, are AI, and some of them aren't. Just through the live stream, through even stuff that people send me. Morva said, I'm not a musician, so I'm learning. You cannot, yeah. And it's like, again, there's a song right now that's going viral. There's a song right now that's going viral called Balenciaga. And it's, nobody knows this, or very few people know it's AI. And it's 100% AI. 100% AI. And part of it, you can tell why too, is all the posts are AI. Or all of the posts are AI, and the artists themselves or any part of their process is never present. And they post 20 times a day. So you can kind of tell. And again, no, it doesn't matter to me, but you can usually tell when someone is knocking out. But this person has 900,000 monthly listeners. Can't say I can get down with AI getting better. It will, it's one of those, unless it gets shut down, which it probably won't, because it's making certain people a lot of money. So it's probably not going to get shut down, because that means, these corporations will lose money, and they don't want to do that. So it probably won't be, but it'll get better. It'll, what you see, remember when we were like impressed by Will Smith eating spaghetti? Yeah, and then now look at it. Now look at what you can do with like Sora. Now look what you can do with obviously look what you can do with like music and stuff like that. It'll get better. It'll get better. It just kind of depends on what you're looking for and what your goal is, right? Anyways, all of this is besides the point. I get all the stems and put them into FL and adjust them and adjust the vocals in FL. Yeah. So then what I would do, Morbid, is I would just do that, but just not with the vocals. Just do that but not with the vocals, because right now the vocals are an obvious Balenciaga lyrics. Oh, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it's like you can tell, but it is AI. But like, you'll go to the comments and people are like, this is like, nobody knows. It's so weird. As soon as I heard it, I started getting a bunch of posts from it. As soon as I heard it, I was like, oh, this is for sure AI. Okay, let's get a little bit deeper into this. So my gut reaction to this, Morbid, is you have some good structure. You have some good texture and energy here. I'm going to get a little deeper into the song, of course. But I would prefer, since you have FL, I would prefer that you process your vocals dry in FL, as opposed to leaving those and trying to run them through, because then it's immediately introducing artifact and aliasing that wasn't there in your dry vocal, right? Even if it's just using it for like tuning and like mastering it or mixing it, you're getting all of this extra artifact that makes it sound worse, not better. It's more distinctly generated than it is your raw vocal, right? So that's what I want to, if you talk about how can you tell, there's a couple little, it's putting a bunch of different puzzle pieces together. One is, inflation in the high end artifact and aliasing, the inability for AI to process high quality or incredibly high fidelity, high frequencies, far low and far high frequencies. That's why most AI that you hear, the vast majority, unless it's been sent to like another engineer to like really, really dig into it, and they're spending hundreds of dollars on another engineer, you'll hear that the far low end subharmonics and far high end is not really present. You're going to get this like cutoff below like kind of like 50, 60 hertz and like 12,000 hertz, 10,000 hertz at the top end. So there's this kind of like very, very subtle umbrella that happens with it, and the inability to process the high end ends up being aliasing an artifact in the top end. So you will inevitably get this kind of gritty, oversaturated, kind of fuzzy, hissy vocal and high frequency profile to like the guitars and the cymbals and the drums and the vocal and stuff like that. That's a couple of the tells there. And then there's a couple other things. Then you got to look at the other things. Like then you like if you start to hear some of that in the music, and you're like, I wonder if this is AI. And then you go to the profile, you go to like the artwork for the album, and it's AI. And then you go to their page, and the profile picture is AI, and there's no musician or no real artist in the actual profile. You put the pieces together, right? Most real musicians, and again, I'm not knocking either way, right? But like most real musicians you can see what they do. If someone's like a phenomenal guitarist, you can probably watch them play guitar somewhere. If someone's like a really good vocalist, like what most AI is trying to emulate, you can see them singing somewhere. There's a school play or something, like you're going to be able to see what they're doing. And so that's one of the biggest tales is listening for the artifact, looking for aliasing, looking for limitations in frequency profile of the song itself. And then on the other side, cutoff is now 20K, which is like technically hearing range, right? Technically like above and top hearing range, but its ability to process well, even between 12 and 20, is not that great. Used to be 13. Yeah, it's getting better, but it's just processing power, right? Imagine the processing power it takes to actually render a billion songs a day, through Suno and stuff like that. Like it takes a lot. Yeah, it still has a difficulty. It's there. Technically, you can get that frequency, but it's challenged. It's challenged. Far low and far high frequencies are always going to be one of the tails. That fuzziness, that grittiness, and then like. Listen to lyrics. Listen, like sometimes you can tell. Like you listen to that Balenciaga song, and it's like you can tell like half the lyrics. It's not even like they're poetic. They just don't make sense. They're just like these are like disconnected. They're weird. There's none of the natural fillers that you would like typically get from some of the other vocal structure stuff. Anyways, I hope this is somewhat helpful. Morbid. I hope it's somewhat helpful. Okay, let's dig a little bit deeper in here, and we'll get to this next part. I definitely don't want to be on radio or known for music. I just want to improve my gaming content for my partnership. 100%. And I think like with this, like Morbid, you just have to find the balance between like what is going to be like palatable for people. Because I think if people see too much of the generated stuff and then they're hearing a bunch of, and you can tell really obviously that it's generated music, there's just going to be more limitations to the gaming stuff, right? So if you're getting paid partnerships, you're getting exposure, and you're getting people that are wanting to play this game, you want to create as little barriers to that as possible. Because people do, whether you like or love or hate AI, doesn't matter to me. People have their gut reaction to it. They have a gut reaction to what it means to them. And so I do think that the better you clean this up, the better that you utilize your actual voice and process in FL while still generating other stuff, I think the better off, the more traction, the more movement you'll actually get for what you're doing. Even if, like you said, I don't want to be a radio star. But let me listen to the last stuff here, and then we'll get at it.
No big answers, no last
100%. Yeah.
I finally breathe when snowflakes fall. If the year's been too long, let it quiet here.
Because you can still hear some of like the plosives, right? So even as you're tracking your own vocals, back off your mic just a little. I don't know how you're tracking. You can let me know, Morbid, but back off your mic just a little bit. Get a couple more inches away. Make sure that you're using a pop filter, because even running through the AI, you're getting those poof. You're getting those plosives on your P's and B's that even the AI is not fixing. So just definitely make sure that your recording technique is probably a little bit cleaner. So even what you do run through feels a little bit more concise, right? A little bit more consistent. Because right now, even though you're generating the outcome of it, you have a mic with the pop filter. Okay, so then just back off of the mic, just probably another inch or 2 inches away, and make sure that your pop filter's off the mic as well. You need diffusion. If you're getting a lot of plosives and sibilants, harsh S's and T's, and your P's and B's have a lot of wind behind them, you need diffusion in order to make sure that that's not reaching the diaphragm of the microphone. Maybe distance. I tend to overpronunciate for my. Yeah, I don't even mind that so much. It's just maybe the distance. Because if you're super close, you don't have enough space, enough distance to diffuse that energy. Even like if you have a microphone right here and your pop filter's right on the microphone, and then you're right on the you're right on the pop filter, then there's no space for that diffusion. Now, if you're Billie Eilish and you're kind of whispering and you have like, there's not a lot of wind behind your expression of your vocal, then you can get away with that, right? But when you have a full like belted, mixed voice and a chest voice here, right, that you have more energy behind your vocal. In that case, you need to back off the mic probably a good, 10 inches or so. 10, 12 inches. Give yourself some space. Make sure the vocal's clean. There's space for diffusion, so the wind's not hitting the mic, and then move your pop filter back a little bit too. That will help. That way, even if you're mixing elsewhere, you're not getting those plosives, your sibilants, those S's and T's that can get harsh. Those don't feel as prominent either. All right, let me hit the last part here.
When snowflakes fall, when snowflakes fall, I'm not alone.
Can you kind of hear where those drums feel like filtered down? That's kind of what I'm talking about. You don't get like the openness right there. And that's what will definitely help. The more that you track, again, like you said, even if you keep doing what you're doing, that will, you can kind of hear where some of those limitations lie. And you want to make sure that you don't get that as much on the vocal side, right? So at least, even if all of the production is going to be generated, try to get the lead vocal in there, or do what you can to mitigate some of that fuzziness and the aliasing and stuff like that, and you'll be in a better spot.
When snowflakes fall.
It's a cool video too. Like I like the whole aesthetic. I like the vibe.
The snowflakes fall.
It's a cool melody. Y'all, show some love. Show some love. Show some love. That is Love Morbid. I appreciate you sending this in. I know sometimes it's a complex space, right, when people are talking about generated music. So I appreciate the vulnerability of you sending this in. I think the structure of it, that's really cool. That's really, really cool. I love that. The structure of this is really nice. You have a good lyric structure, good repetition, good formatting, stuff like that. The biggest thing for me is trying to separate yourself from that perception, right? Trying to separate yourself from I could hear that, ML. Separating yourself a little bit from the artifact, right? So if you do have even a decent voice and you can get that process over the top, you're just more likely to gain like more exposure, more connection, more of, an actual fan base that appreciates what you do. And you never know, like if you start, even like you said, you don't really necessarily want to do music on your own. More of a lyricist, but I'm trying. You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. You never know what other producers might be like, hey, I would actually love to produce for you. Like I hear what you're doing. I would actually love to like mix your vocals and produce more with you with like some session musicians and stuff and do splits. You never know, right? You never know what opportunities can come your way. But I think it's helpful to increase the likelihood of people actually connecting and actually relating and connecting to your voice and not feeling the separation of the aliasing and the fuzz and stuff like that. So those are a couple of the details that I would dig into there. But y'all please show some love. Benza, what hardware do you have in the background? Okay, well there's a couple you talk about synths. And then I'm gonna hop off. I gotta get out of here. Shout out to Morbid one more time. I appreciate you sending that in. Thank you for doing that. And then we're gonna close up here in a second. Best way to adjust voice. So what you want if you're gonna be tracking your own. Go to basics. Go to basics, right? So you want control. For one, you want noise control, right? So when it comes to actually building out the structure of your vocal, first things first is knowing your environment, knowing the mic that you're using. I appreciate you, Vouch. Thank you for tapping in today. I appreciate you showing up. Make sure that, let me actually double check this really quick. Okay, so first thing is understanding your source, understanding your voice and your microphone and the environment that it's in. If you're dealing with noise, if the AC's on, there's reflection in the room, you don't have a great environment, then in that case, you might want to dry some of that up. You might want to use some gating, some noise reduction. NS1 is one of my favorite plugins for very simple single knob noise reduction and small gating. It does a great job. It's like a $30 plugin, but there's another one that I use all the time. It's called RX11. It's like a suite of plugins that I use to do like pretty surgical noise reduction. That's much more, it's a couple $100. But if you want to start simple, you can start with something like NS1. Then I would just get familiar. And again, this will take some time. It'll take some repetition. It'll take you kind of building out these skill sets and your understanding of these tools. But I would get really, really good at EQ, compression, and understanding the positioning of your vocal. So like gain staging, how loud your vocal is and how loud it becomes or quiet it becomes, the amplitude changes of that vocal as you go through different different plugins. That's going to be your gain staging. So have an EQ, have a compressor. The EQ is going to shape the tonal qualities, the color of your vocal as far as, brightness, darkness. Does it feel inflated in the middle? Is it warm? Is it deep and muddy and boomy? Is it thin and brittle? All that's going to happen within your EQ curves. So having an EQ is a necessity, and there's a couple different ways to use that, which I just need to post videos on probably. And then the other would be dynamic control through compression. So EQ and compression, just like start there, right? Sometimes I use 3 compressors and 2 reductive EQ and an additive EQ. There's a lot of stuff that you can do, but just starting simple, right? Just have, a simple EQ where you're cutting some of the low end rumble, 80 hertz and below. You have maybe a nice little soft high shelf at 10,000 hertz, 2 dB up to give you some brightness. If there's some mud in the low end of your vocal and it feels boomy, then between 100 and 300 hertz, dip that down just a few dB to take out some of the mud without making it thin. Like start there. That's like one little quick little thing that you can dive into. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I love it. I mean, that means a lot. And then the compression is dynamic control. So how loud or quiet your vocal becomes, right? So once you introduce your vocal signal, right? Obviously, if you sing quieter, it gets quieter. If you sing loud, it gets loud. What you hear on like my vocal right now, I have I have 1 outboard compressor and then 2 compressors on my vocal in the box in the DAW. And so my vocal doesn't get super quiet or super loud. It's very controlled, but it still sounds like fairly transparent. It's like you hear the compression happening, right? It's like really. So I can whisper and vocal fry, and you hear how loud it is. And I can also yell, and I can talk really loud, and I'm not moving in or out away from the microphone. But it actually feels like very controlled. Like you're not hearing my vocal go boom and like blast the speakers and break your ear, bust your eardrums. And when I start to talk really quiet or like with a vocal fry, you still hear all that clarity. So that low level information has been brought up. The high level information, high amplitude information has been brought down and controlled. And my dynamic range, how loud or quiet that vocal gets, is now really consistent. So if I bring it down and I bring it up, and then I can push it to the top of the mix, your vocal has so much more control. That's what's going to help like smooth it out. That's going to help make it feel, a little bit more palatable to listen to, so that you don't really, randomly hit a high note and it's blasting through the speakers and killing people's ears. So you want to find a balance. Start there. Start with, and then there's tons of videos on EQ and compression. I need to make more. I just don't. They take a lot of time to edit and stuff like that. So I tend to be kind of lazy with them. So this 5 is helpful. But I would definitely just get really familiar with EQ and compression. Get really familiar with EQ and compression. You can always add more. Like I usually have like 2 EQs, maybe 2 or 3 compressors, a de-esser, which is a version of a single node compressor essentially. Start with EQ and compression. That's not going to make you sound phenomenal, but that's a start, right? You can, if you track well, it can sound pretty good. Start with those 2, and you can always build. You can always learn how to change attack and release on the compressor to add multiple to make it really smooth and really controlled. But that's where I would start. Start there, and that'll get you in the right direction. And then, so it's gain staging, EQ, and compression. Gain staging is when you compress and you make up that gain, right? So like if I compress and I bring down some of the louder elements of my vocal, it might make it too quiet. So I might need to make up the gain in the compressor to re-stage that gain and bring it back to a normal level. Maybe I EQ and I brighten up the top end a bunch and I add some frequency that makes it feel bigger and a little bit louder. I might need to turn down on the EQ. I might need to restage the gain in order to make sure that my levels are really consistent. Always find 1 fast and 1 slower compressor. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, like a typical stack is like a 76 and a 2A. That's what I have on my vocal right now. It's like simple stuff like that. Like, and you can do that with stock plugins. Just have like, one that's kind of grabbing, one that's like grabbing transients that are cutting through a little bit hotter, and then another one to kind of smooth things out. That's what the 2A is great for. Smooth things out, bring it forward a little bit more. But yeah, 2 compressors, 1 fast, 1 slow, usually does the trick. But yeah, one more time, show some love. Quick rundown before I hop off. I'm out of here, y'all. I got to get out of here. Hold on. Oops, I didn't mean to move that. You were asking about the hardware. So there's a bunch that you can't see in here right now. I have, the 2A is great. What do I have back here right now? I just got rid of some stuff, but I also got some new stuff in. I have, let's see, it's like over here. I haven't I need to fix it because I got it from someone and I need to get it fixed up. But over here on the other side of the room, I think it's a PSS 255, a Yamaha PSS 255 from like 1988. It's an old sampling keyboard back there. It has some issues, so I need to open it up and fix it up. Let's see, back here on this side, I have an MX61 workstation. I have Casio SK1. I've got an Ensoniq SQ1 Plus. All these are from like the 80s. The SQ1's from like 1991, I think. I've got a 1985 Yamaha DX21. I've got a Pro 1, a K2, which is an MS-20 emulation, a Pro 800, Korg Mini Log. I've got a Behringer Poly D. That's my Keystep Pro. That's used for sequencing and stuff like that. A Juno 106 and a Triton LE. That might be it. That might be it so far. I just got rid of 2 other ones, so yeah, it's and then I've got it's a Keylab Essential right here. That's my controller. But yeah, it's a few. It's a few. I'm in the process of trying to update them. So sometimes I'll like sell a couple of them to trade for like something nicer. That's how I got the Juno 106 and a couple of the other ones in there that I really like. But yeah, I love 80s. I love synthwave. I love it. Okay, what's your thoughts on the upcoming Behringer Juno clone? I mean, I think it gives assets. Like I have 4 Behringer synths. I've 14, 15 synths in here. I have 4 Behringers, and one of them's broken, so they're cheap. That's the thing. One of them's broken, and Behringer is being a dick, and they won't give me the part. They refuse to give me the part. They say I have to send it to them to fix or to work it out some other way. They refuse to supply me with the rocker switch so I can solder it in myself. So they're being annoying about it. So that's the thing you're going to run into. They're cheap, and they're cheap and they don't hold up that well over a lot of use. And I use that Poly D. I use the Poly D every day, multiple times a day, sometimes for hours on end to work on like session work for synths and stuff like that. So that's the thing that you're going to run into. I think no, you're fine. It is what it is. It's going to happen. I have a bunch of analog synths here. It's going to happen. Things are going to break. You gotta fix them. I just wish they would let me fix it instead of having to send it to them. So I'm going to try to find another way. I might reach out to someone else or just, I don't know. I just want to solder it myself. I just want to order the $4 switch and solder it myself, and they won't let me because they're weird about it. Anyway, so that's the only thing. So, I mean, I think the Juno will be fine, but it's going to be cheap. It's a lot of the same circuitry. So a lot of like the same circuitry that you hear, like they have on the Poly D, there's a Juno chorus on there. It's going to be the same Juno chorus. So, I mean, you're going to be able to you're kind of paying for the interface. I'm trying. It's hard to find the exact same cap though, because it's like proprietary. They use the same orange caps on everything, the same rocker switch on everything. So like you'll see the same orange buttons, the same switches, the same faders. You'll see it on like all of their products in just a different layout. And so I'm trying to. I've found a couple of things, but even on eBay and some of the other parts suppliers for better music, they're really annoying. Anyway, so I think the Junos, it's going to sound fine. People are going to use it, but it's going to be cheap. It's small. It's quite a bit smaller than the Juno 106 that I have. But it's small. It's a little bit smaller. It's it's going to sound probably pretty close, but I'm not a huge fan of the build quality, which makes sense. When you're paying, let's say we pay $700, $800 for a June 60 or a Boone 60, whatever they're calling it. I don't know. A B60 or whatever it is, or J80. I forget, whatever. You spend $800 on a J80. Don't expect to get a $2,000 synth, right? Like the Juno 106 I have, it's like $2,000, $2,500. But it's like don't expect it to do that. The build quality is going to be like this thing that I have is like from 1984, like that, and it's lasted this long. It's been serviced and it's been built up a little bit, but it is it's gone through it. Yeah, it'll be fine. I mean, the DeepMind is pretty close too. The DeepMind is pretty close. It does a job. It does the job. So I the DeepMind 12 and 6, like they're fine. Like I think it'll sound good. The Poly D sounds great. It's not a Mini Moog, but it sounds pretty close to a Mini Moog. You know what I mean? Like I can't afford a Mini Moog. A Mini Moog is $5,000. I can't afford a Mini Moog right now. So a Poly D was $600. It's like you just gotta do what you gotta do. It's got to do. Okay, I got to get out of here. Quick spiel. I work full-time as an engineer, producer, and session musician. So if you ever want to hire me for services, then shoot me a message, shoot me a DM, reach out to our website, or just shoot me a DM on TikTok or Instagram, and I'll get back to you as soon as I have the capacity to. If you're ever interested, I got obviously a bunch of synths. That's one of the main things that I do session work on, key synths, but I got bass, electric, and acoustic guitars. I've got live drums, vocals, whatever you need. I'll be absolutely honored to help you out. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. We'll be back on live tomorrow, so definitely tap in.